Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Spellcasting is a permanent addition and my skills are all forbidden spells. Chapter 61. Along with this system prompt, the protective shield covering the settlement expanded again. The light film returned to light green, expanded, and grew several circles in the blink of an eye. The settlement area has doubled again. Rumble. There was a sudden tremor all around. Many areas originally infested by monsters have been transformed into safe areas. Looking at this scene, everyone was a little shocked. It's too fast. It wasn't long ago that the settlement was upgraded last time. In just one night's work, he was promoted to another level. Ha ha ha, it's so cool to be protected by a big guy. 2 points of full attributes again, Boss Liu Cheng is awesome. My settlement panel has changed, and new features have been unlocked. Everyone was extremely excited and talking about it. At the same time, many people checked the panel for the first time. The protective shield has been upgraded. The monsters it can resist have become level 25. Other functions have also been upgraded. There are a lot more things in the redemption list. That house in the building function requires 1000 origin stone fragments. Isn't it too expensive? What does this belief function mean? Why does it always show that it is unlocked? Many people in the chat channel were very enthusiastic. They all noticed the panel changes. After the upgrade, the original functions have new uses. Also unlocked several new features. Suddenly, everyone started studying it. Hey, the name of the dialogue function has changed. Wei Meng looked at the panel and was suddenly surprised. He saw that in the settlement panel, the original dialogue turned into communication. Settlement function. Communication. Within 10 kilometers of the settlement, you can drive the light curtain to communicate remotely through your thoughts. Closing square bracket. 10 kilometers. This is good. After seeing the content clearly, Wei Meng was overjoyed. The previous chat channel cannot be used outside the settlement range. When he goes out to hunt monsters, he always misses a lot of news. Now that the range has been expanded to 10 kilometers, it is much more convenient. You can even use the communication function to call for help when you are in danger. Wei Meng continued to look. There is another introduction to the communication function. Can connect to other settlement chat channels. Closing square bracket. Connection conditions. The settlement reaches level 2 and is within the search radius. Closing square bracket. Wei Meng's eyes suddenly widened. Doesn't this mean that you can contact other people? As he cast his thoughts, a circular area appeared in front of him, scanning like a radar. However, after scanning a few times, there was not a single green dot on the screen. There are no eligible settlements within 100 kilometers of the surrounding area. Closing square bracket. System prompts rang in his mind. What? The search radius is 100 kilometers. Wei Meng's eyes widened and he was shocked. He was a truck driver before the disaster, so he knew how big the range of 100 kilometers was. A circle with a radius of 100 kilometers is larger than many provinces in Daxia. But in such a large area, there is no second level 2 settlement. Yes. Wei Meng let out a long breath and regained his composure. Not every settlement can have a boss as awesome as God Liu. At the same time, a system prompt rang in Liu Cheng's ear. Ding, you have the qualifications of acting city lord, the settlement level is improved, and you get attribute feedback. Closing square bracket. You get free attribute points plus 20. Closing square bracket. A beam of light shone down, and Liu Cheng's attribute points rose. Bathed in the brilliance, Liu Cheng's expression was calm. Now that the settlement has just started, this reward is nothing. When you are promoted to a city, the rewards will be truly generous. At the same time, system prompts kept ringing in his ears. The protective shield function has been upgraded. You have control authority and can authorize it to others. Closing square bracket. Storage function unlocked. Your storage space gets extra volume. Closing square bracket. The building function is unlocked. When a building is completed, you will get a feedback bonus. Closing square bracket. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. Listening to the system prompts, Liu Cheng was in a good mood. He is very familiar with these settlement functions. But at that time, they were just ordinary members. But now, with the blessing of acting city lord qualifications, he has privileges in many functions. Just like the storage function. After the storage function is unlocked, each settlement member can activate the storage space. The storage space is not large, only 1 cubic meter. It is the same as the secret magic ring before upgrading. However, his is different. Liu Cheng thought, and the storage space opened. His storage space is much larger than others, with a length and width of 10 meters. This is an additional reward for becoming an agent city leader. Good. 100 cubic meters of space is enough for him to use for a long time. Turning off the storage space, Liu Cheng glanced at each function. Exchange, communication, building. After glancing at the communication function, Liu Cheng raised his eyes. In previous lives, it was by relying on this function that large-scale communications were gradually restored in the human world. But now, this function is not available. To connect, other settlements must be at level 2. Then, Liu Cheng turned his attention to architectural functions. Residence. A single residence. Within the residence, the status recovery speed increases. Each person is limited to 1, which provides permanent bonuses. Closing square bracket. When you build a house, you can get free attribute points +5 and all attributes +1. It requires 1000 origin stone fragment to build. Providing materials can reduce the cost. Closing square bracket. Watchtower. A defensive building that can provide combat status bonus. Closing square bracket. When fighting on the sentry tower, you will get double the field of vision, all attributes +5, construction requires 10,000 origin stone fragment, and the cost can be reduced by providing materials. Closing square bracket. From the perspective of others, these are the only 2 options on the building page. However, in Liu Cheng's page, there are 2 more lines. Every time a house is built, you gain +1 free attribute point. Closing square bracket. For each sentry tower built, you gain +1 to all attributes. Closing square bracket. After one glance, Liu Cheng was very satisfied. Now, he is just the acting city lord. This benefit is constantly revealed. Every time a house is built, he can get a free attribute point as feedback. If this could be superimposed infinitely, Liu Cheng thought for a while. But then, he shook his head. This kind of attribute point feedback is similar to Spire of Myriad Laws, and naturally has an upper limit. Before the city is completed, the upper limit of feedback for residential buildings is 100. As the settlement upgrades, the upper limit will continue to increase. Thinking of this, Liu Cheng was looking forward to it. In the previous life, it was the Cataclysm late stage. The city lords of the major cities are undoubtedly the top combat power. The source of their combat power is the feedback provided by the city. With the huge amount of feedback, even without high-level talents and job transfers, they are still something that cannot be underestimated. After thinking for a moment, Liu Cheng shook his head slightly. Then, he took out a lot of origin stone fragments. Ding, you spent 1000 origin stone fragment and started building a house. Closing square bracket. The system prompt sounded, and the origin stone fragment was enveloped in brilliance. 1000 origin stone fragment is the highest price, so there is no need to provide materials. After a while, the glory retreated. In front of them, a wooden hut rose from the ground. Ding, you built a house and got attribute bonuses. Closing square bracket. You have the qualification of acting city lord, your residence bonus is doubled, you gain all attributes +2, and free attribute points +10. Closing square bracket. Listen to the system prompts. Liu Cheng nodded with satisfaction. Right now, the dwellings feature doesn't offer much in the way of bonuses. When the level rises in the future, it will be very impressive. At this point, the settlement function is almost complete. As for the last faith function, look at the words unlocking. Liu Cheng frowned slightly. In the previous life, Daxia was jointly encircled and suppressed by various countries, largely because of this function. The content of the belief function is very simple. After unlocking it, you can choose to believe in the so-called gods, and receive blessings, thereby gaining some reward bonuses. For example, strengthening the settlement shield, weakening nearby monsters, or directly providing attribute points. If you look at the rewards alone, faith provides a lot of bonuses. Some of these powerful beliefs can instantly increase a person's combat power to a higher level. However, this belief function is a double-edged sword. Even a world disaster that swept the world in the previous life was called disaster of faith. Recalling information about the function of faith. Liu Cheng looked cold. This function is special in that no matter what settlement it is, it must be unlocked at the latest level 2. Some level 1 and even level 0 settlements can even unlock this feature. For Daxia, this feature brings far more disadvantages than benefits. At this moment, a stream of light flashed across the column of faith. Ding, the belief function is unlocked. Closing square bracket. Along with this system prompt, the panel unfolds into a curtain of light. In the light curtain, the phantoms of gods emerged one after another, with strange shapes and few similarities to humans. Belief in the God of mercy. Choose to offer your faith, life and everything to the merciful God and receive blessings from the merciful God. Closing square bracket. Blessing reward. The settlement shield is enhanced, and the monster resistance level is increased by level 1. Closing square bracket. Consecrate 20% of your future experience to become a believer in the God of mercy. Closing square bracket. Belief in the God of destruction. Choose to offer your faith, life and everything to the God of destruction and obtain the blessing of the God of destruction. Closing square bracket. Blessing reward. Gain all attributes plus 10, double the effect of strength attribute, and increase the physical damage caused by 30%. Closing square bracket. Consecrate all your rational thinking ability and 25 points of intelligence attribute to become a believer of the God of destruction. Closing square bracket. Belief in God the Father. Choose to offer your faith, life and everything to God the Father and receive His blessings. Closing square bracket. Blessing reward. Plus 50% speed in gaining experience points, plus 10 additional free attribute points each time you upgrade. Closing square bracket. By enshrining the highest authority in the settlement hub and 100 attribute points, you can become a follower of God the Father. Closing square bracket. In the light curtain, the shadows of gods appeared one by one. Among them, there are many familiar Western gods, but there are no local gods in Bactria. At the same time, the effects of belief in gods are also revealed. Looking at the blessing rewards alone, these bonuses are very good. Moreover, as the faith function is upgraded in the future, and even the statues of gods are built, these bonuses will increase a lot. But correspondingly, the price is not low at all. Even the least demanding God of mercy requires 20% experience. Liu Cheng quickly drew down without stopping at all. Pulling it to the bottom in one breath, an empty option came into view. Don't choose faith. You do not choose to believe in any god and gain free attribute points plus 1. Closing square bracket. Looking at this option, Liu Cheng's mind moved slightly. This item was the mainstream choice in Daxia in the previous life. As for why you choose this way. First, many people in Daxia are not used to believing in this thing. The second reason is that choosing to become a believer brings too many hidden dangers. Originally, in the early stages of the catastrophe, it was difficult for gods to directly interfere with the present world. It wasn't until the disaster of faith broke out that the projection came. But if you become a believer, it will be different. Liu Cheng remembers it clearly. At the beginning of the previous life, there were many settlements in Daxia that chose to believe in gods. But after that, some settlements disappeared overnight, and everyone was sucked dry. The one who caused this tragedy was the god they believed in. After becoming a believer, you are completely like the livestock raised by the gods. For believers, God can take whatever you want. Those initial offerings could only be counted as interest at best. The faith, life and everything mentioned at the beginning are the capital that the gods are eyeing. Daxia was in a difficult situation in the early stages of the disaster, which was also a large part of the factor. Under the influence of the gods, many enemy countries developed rapidly, and then repeatedly used confrontational tools to exert pressure, trying to force Daxia to contribute their faith. In the early stages of the disaster, great pressure was put on Daxia. Until the 7th year of the catastrophic era, the disaster of faith broke out, and several small countries with fanatical beliefs were wiped out in one day. Other enemy countries with widespread beliefs also suffered heavy losses. After that, Daxia's situation got better. Thinking of this, Liu Cheng's mind turned and he made a choice. Then, the system prompt sounded. Ding, you choose not to believe in gods. Closing square bracket. You are qualified as the acting city leader, and your choice will affect the entire settlement. Do you confirm? Closing square bracket. Confirm. Ding, confirmation completed. Settlement Note 1024 chose not to believe in gods. Closing square bracket. After processing the faith interface, Liu Cheng turned his eyes. As the settlement reaches the second level, the task of upgrading the city is also unlocked. This is an essential prerequisite for upgrading a settlement into a city. Upgrade city task prerequisite. The preliminary preparations for the settlement to be upgraded to a city. After all are met, the city upgrade preparation function can be turned on. At the same time, everyone in the settlement will receive attribute rewards. Closing square bracket. Settlement Hub reaches level 2, satisfied. Completed the City Lord trial mission, 0/1. Destroy the ceiling stones of surrounding settlements, 2/5. Settlement population reaches 10,000, satisfied. The settlement area reaches 1 million square meters, satisfied. The number of residential buildings reaches 100. Reminder: if you complete the prerequisite tasks within a week, the rewards will be doubled. Closing square bracket. After taking a quick glance, Liu Cheng looked forward to it. The rewards for the city's prerequisite tasks are higher than the monster tide. Moreover, since he has the status of acting city lord, the rewards he will receive will be doubled. The next goal is to complete this preliminary task within a week. Liu Cheng's mind was spinning. The first month before the disaster, when there was no world disaster, was an excellent period of development for him. Upgrading yourself and stacking passives is naturally the primary goal. On the other side, when the settlement is upgraded, it cannot be let go. One is because the settlement itself can provide high bonuses. The second is that many of his subsequent plans require the city's functions to provide support. At the current stage, human society is cut off by a large number of monsters and divided into settlements. Many ideas cannot be implemented. No matter how many ideas he has, he can only affect his own settlement. Liu Cheng glanced at the task requirements. The progress of settlement Note 1024 is good, half of which has reached the target. Inside the remaining 3, the City Lord trial mission and the settlement ceiling stone are not difficult for him either. As for the building requirements, it's up to others to work together. Thinking of this, Liu Cheng opened the chat channel. As soon as he opened it, he received a system prompt. Ding, you have the qualifications to act as the city leader and can publish one pinned announcement every day. Closing square bracket. The communication function has been upgraded to level 2, and he can make announcements. Liu Cheng thought about it and posted the city task requirements. Ding, Challenger Liu Cheng issued a pinned announcement. Announcement content omitted. This announcement was sent out, and the chat in the community suddenly became lively. Brothers, go and see. God Liu has made an announcement. City upgrade task. What is this? Does it mean that the settlement can be upgraded to a city in the future? The city sounds much more domineering than the settlement. Boss Liu Cheng, is there anything we can do to help with this mission? In the group chat, everyone was very enthusiastic. Glancing at the chat in the settlement, Liu Cheng wanted to speak. Indeed, I can solve these 3 mission requirements, the City Lord trial mission and the settlement ceiling stone. We need everyone to work together on this Minchi project. When the news about him dropped, the chat in the community immediately became heated. Great, finally there is somewhere I can help. Don't worry God Liu, I promise to complete the mission. It just so happens that I am a woodcutter by profession. I can cut wood and save a lot of origin stone fragments. The enthusiasm of the people was extremely high. After lying down for so long, many people are already embarrassed. I see this mission requirement, and there is also a settlement seal stone. I can help find it. That's right, let's find the sealing stone together and save God Liu a lot of time. Everyone was very active and started thinking about it spontaneously. Not just respect for Liu Cheng. As the settlement is upgraded, they can also get a lot of rewards. By the way, Mr. Liu Cheng, can I choose this belief function? I think the price is too scary. Someone took the opportunity to ask for advice. I don't choose. Look at the price, you have to sacrifice your life. I am living well, who can sacrifice my life for him? That's right, Even if you don't mention life, just asking for 20% of the experience is too much. Upgrading is already slow. Others spoke one after another. Liu Cheng raised his eyes and was about to speak when suddenly the situation around him suddenly changed. Wow! The wind blew and the sky suddenly darkened. There seemed to be dark clouds hanging over the settlement, making the whole settlement feel depressed instantly. In midair, little orange-red rays of light emerged, seeming to condense into substance. At the same time, a system prompt sounded in Liu Cheng's ear. Ding! Emergency announcement. There is a god asking for your faith. Closing square bracket. It's not just Liu Cheng. Everyone in the settlement received this reminder at the same time. Following this announcement, the situation in the settlement changed. The dark wind howled, the sky suddenly darkened, and in an instant, the settlement was dark. What happened? Why is it dark? Asking for faith. What does this mean? What are those red spots in the sky? Everyone was a little confused. This change happened so suddenly that they were caught off guard. It was clearly broad daylight just now, but suddenly it felt like the end of the world. At this moment, in midair, orange-red light suddenly bloomed. Those light spots suddenly brightened and burst into light. The orange and red light intertwined, gradually weaving into an extremely huge human-shaped light and shadow. The humanoid light and shadow suddenly appeared, causing a panic. The light and shadow were so huge that the head was higher than the tall building, but the feet could touch the ground. Seeing the light and shadow clearly, everyone suddenly became excited. This light and shadow has two horns on its head, a ferocious appearance, its hands are like animal claws, and a pair of fleshy wings can cover the sky and the sun. For a moment, there was panic in the settlement. What kind of monster is this? Everyone was terrified. This huge light and shadow is just hovering in the air, the sense of oppression is too strong. This is. Someone recognized this light and shadow, and their vision suddenly went dark. This is the god of destruction in the list of beliefs, the most demanding god. He spoke tremblingly. God of destruction. When the others heard this, they quickly opened the list of beliefs without panicking. As a result, at first glance, their hearts dropped. Being a believer in this god of destruction means you can only live for 10 days. A chill arose in everyone's heart. The first step in believing in the god of destruction is to worship the god of destruction for his entire lifespan, leaving only 10 days. Only by obeying the will of the gods can you be rewarded with longevity. Just looking at this one point, no one would want to believe in this god. This request is simply outrageous and excessive. How can this person still be a believer? Worse than a slave. If you don't get the reward, you will die in 10 days. If you have to rely on rewards to survive, you will never be able to get over it. But, this divine projection is coming to the sky, how can we resist? Although the monster is scary, it still has a health bar. But this projection, I'm afraid it can bring down a tall building with just one palm. Everyone was in despair, and right now, in midair, the light and shadow suddenly moved. He turned his head and quickly locked into a position. That's beside the bronze tree, where Liu Cheng is. Then, the light and shadow took a big step and came to the sky above Liu Cheng. In his eyes, a red light was cast, shrouding Liu Cheng in it. Seeing this scene, everyone in the settlement felt anxious. God Liu, some people have a glimmer of hope in their hearts. But soon, they recognized the reality. They have always regarded Liu Cheng as a god. But that's just showing respect. But now, the real god has arrived. Even God Liu cannot compete with a real god. Do you really want everyone to believe in the god of destruction? Many people were sad and lowered their heads. Boss Liu Cheng, please don't agree. Some people dared not look at it and prayed desperately with their eyes closed. And next to the settlement hub, in the red light, Liu Cheng sneered. This scene is so terrifying that it would be hard for anyone not to be afraid. Except him, he has seen it. This is one of the ways the gods plunder faith. Having experienced the disaster of faith, he also knew a lot about these so-called gods. Before believing in disaster, no god, no matter how powerful, could interfere with the present world. This interference naturally includes projection. Now this light and shadow is actually not even a projection. It has no lethality and its duration is very short. At best, it can only release a trace of divine power. It's just a way to scare people. Seeing the red light locking on him, Liu Cheng looked up. Believe in me and you will never die. The light and shadow looked down at Liu Cheng, and the sound was like thunder. Dream. Liu Cheng spit out 2 words coldly. However, these 2 words caused a commotion in the crowd in the distance. Oh my god, boss Liu Cheng rejected the god of destruction. Are we going to die? It's okay if you refuse. If you want to believe in such a god, it's better to die. He is indeed God Liu. Everyone was frightened and discussed in lowered voices. And in midair, you cannot afford to offend the gods. Wang Ying's expression was indifferent, his fleshy wings flapped slightly, and his body instantly solidified. The next second, a shock wave suddenly erupted, sweeping across the entire settlement in an instant. Wherever the shock wave passed, houses and vegetation were not damaged. But a reminder sounded in everyone's mind. Ding, you are under the pressure of the gods, and all attributes are reduced by 20 points. Closing square bracket. This. After hearing the prompt, everyone's expressions changed wildly. A wave of pressure caused many people to lose most of their attributes. With such a gap in combat power, how could they still have the capital to refuse? In midair, the light and shadow scanned for a week, and they were very satisfied. To deal with these mortals, a little trick is enough. Then, he turned his head and looked down at Liu Cheng. Now, do you understand your mistake? The light, shadow and sound were like thunder. Thump. Some people in the crowd couldn't hold it anymore and fell to the ground. His level is not high, and his attributes are already low. Once he drops down like this, he can no longer stand. His mind was buzzing, and he opened the settlement panel in a daze, deciding to choose faith. But until the last moment of his thoughts, he tried his best to hold back, raised his head and looked at Liu Cheng. He's not the only one. Everyone's eyes were also focused on Liu Cheng. Only he has the highest authority and can decide the beliefs of the entire settlement. In Liu Cheng's ear, a system prompt rang. Ding, you are under the pressure of the gods. You are not afraid of the gods' triggers. You are not affected. Closing square bracket. Are you really showing off your divine power? Liu Cheng sneered. If this light and shadow didn't use divine power, there was nothing he could do. But when pressure is used, it's different. He has endless absorption and soul resistance, and can cause damage to light and shadow. Then, he suddenly raised his hand. With a whoosh, silver light cut through the darkness, and the breath of grace appeared in his hand. Then, a fireball condensed from the top of the staff, roared away, and hit the light and shadow. Boom! In midair, the fireball exploded violently, flames flew, and air waves rolled. The fire burst out, causing the light and shadow to escape, but soon it condensed and took shape again. At the same time, the attributes of light and shadow emerged in Liu Cheng's field of vision. Elemental light and shadow. Energy. 570,000 over 1 million. Attack. Defense. Closing square bracket. Skill. Characteristic. Closing square bracket. Light and shadow condensed with energy. Inanimate objects dissipate when the energy is exhausted. Closing square bracket. All attributes are question marks, and only the energy tank can be seen. Liu Cheng glanced at it. The light and shadow energy tank is decreasing at a rate of 3,000 per second. Even if he doesn't attack, the light and shadow can only last for more than 300 seconds. However, it will dissipate faster under attack. You dare to touch me? In midair, the light and shadow showed a hint of surprise. Do you know that as long as I wave my hand, there will be thunder? Boom! Another fireball exploded, and the light, shadow and sound suddenly stopped. The fireball landed precisely, scattering the light and shadow in his mouth, interrupting his words. After rubbing the fireball, Liu Cheng sneered. The gods who believe in disasters are indeed powerful, and every drop of blood contains terrifying power. But until then, it was just a bluff. The light and shadow condensed again, and anger appeared on his face. Mortal, you want to anger. Boom, you made me angry. Boom, you can. Boom, Liu Cheng's face was expressionless, and fireballs continued in his hands. With the gift of breath in hand, the cooldown of his fireball technique is only more than 2 seconds, scattering light and shadow again and again. Later, he became more and more comfortable in playing, and Guangying could not finish a sentence. And in the distance, Everyone was completely stunned, each one looked like a sculpture. The scene in front of them has exceeded the limit of their understanding. It took a long time before someone managed to recover. God Lu is fighting the gods. The man spoke tremblingly. Oh my God, this. Everyone looked incredulous. They really hope that Liu Chang can reject the god of destruction. Unexpectedly, Liu Chang actually chose to start a war. And, looking at it like this, he actually didn't fall behind for a while. Could he really defeat the gods? Some people have hope in their hearts. But the next moment, his eyes widened. In midair, light and shadow opened their huge claws and pressed towards Liu Chang. The giant claws stretched across the sky, swiping at him, and were about to crush Liu Chang into pieces. The size difference between the two sides is so huge, it's like an ant fighting an elephant. No, seeing that Liu Chang was facing a crisis, a pastor was so anxious that he shouted out. On the other side, the sound of the shield sword being unsheathed suddenly sounded. Wei Meng's eyes were red, he drew out his shield and sword, and he was breathing heavily. Kill, he growled and lunged forward. Behind him, everyone was stunned. Then, everyone's eyes turned red. Kill, Li Tianyu had no expression on his face, his two swords were on fire, and he charged after Wei Meng. Behind him, the sound of weapons being unsheathed sounded one after another, and soon they became one. Kill, support boss Liu Chang. Some people were filled with blood, shouted loudly, and took the lead in rushing out of the crowd. There were at least hundreds of people who rushed out with him. Then there were more people, each roaring and running wildly towards the battlefield. Kill the gods. God Lu, we are coming. Kill. 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 At this moment, the shouts in the settlement shook the sky and the earth. The crowd burst out with soaring power and charged towards the gods. The melee professionals rushed forward, slashing out their swords one after another. At the same time, the mages also took action. Fireballs, ice arrows, energy balls, and countless spells lit up, extremely bright, and blasted towards the light and shadow. However, all the swords and spells passed through the light and shadow and fell into the void. Everyone was stunned. The next moment, a fireball rushed into the sky and exploded in the chest of light and shadow. Boom! The fireball exploded violently, and a heat wave hit all around. In the heat wave, the light and shadow of the god gradually dispersed and began to collapse. This time, the light and shadow did not condense again, but completely dissipated. At the same time, a system prompt rang in Liu Chang's ear. Ding, you destroyed the light and shadow of the god of destruction, gained experience value plus 100,000, origin energy upper limit plus 5. Closing square bracket. Listening to the system prompts, Liu Chang's eyes suddenly lit up. Everyone was stunned as they watched the god's light and shadow collapse. A mere mortal dares to offend the divine power. When I come again, I will destroy everything. The light and shadow roared furiously, threatening viciously. However, as his figure disappeared, his voice quickly became smaller. And on the opposite side, Liu Chang was moved. Can you get the origin energy limit by destroying the god of destruction's light and shadow? This was the same as the cloud giant he encountered when he changed jobs and challenged. Not quite a monster, but it does provide origin energy. Can it be refined just like cloud giant? Thinking of this, Liu Chang quickly raised his hand. Refining. The next moment, a rich earth-yellow brilliance indeed emerged from the god of destruction and sank into his body. Then, the system prompt sounded. Ding, you successfully refined the light and shadow of the god of destruction, you get a divine particle, the origin energy limit is plus 50. Closing square bracket. Origin Energy Illustrated Book Collection Number +1, Divine Particles are being collected. Divine Particles. Listening to the system prompts, Liu Chang was greatly surprised. After refining the light and shadow of the god of destruction, I actually got a divine particle. This is the late stage of the cataclysm. Good things can only be released by killing those divine creatures. It is an extremely precious resource and has a wide range of uses. Just by being attached to the settlement hub, the settlement attributes can be greatly enhanced. Liu Chang glanced at the bronze tree seedlings. The current settlement hub has just reached level 2. There is still some distance before the divine particles can be attached. However, Liu Chang didn't care either. Divine particles have many uses, and strengthening settlement hubs is just one of them. What he was more concerned about was another point. Origin Energy Illustrated Book. Can it collect divine particles? Liu Cheng was a little surprised. Divine particles are different from other resources and cannot be placed in a storage space. Special containers are required to collect and store them for a long time. But the Origin Energy Illustrated Book actually has this function. Liu Cheng couldn't help but sigh. Previously, he felt that the effect of Origin Energy's embrace was outstanding. It is much stronger than the ordinary yellow gold level skills. By refining monsters, you can obtain attribute points. This ability is so perverted. And now, you can also collect divine particles. It is no exaggeration to say that it is a platinum or diamond level skill. Liu Cheng's mind turned and he checked the progress. Divine particles are being collected, progress is 37%. In a short time, the collection of divine particles will be completed. And at this time, in the settlement, someone finally came to his senses. In just a few minutes, the impact they received was so great that everyone was stunned. Survived, we won, someone murmured to themselves, showing an expression of disbelief. Everyone else's expressions were similar. The hundreds of meters of light and shadow of the gods descended, giving them a more terrifying impression than the tide of monsters. As a result, in just a few minutes, they defeated light and shadow. No. Not us. Wei Meng put away his shield and sword and whispered to himself. He was the first to rush out, and before the large army attacked, he had already swung his sword at the light and shadow. However, he knew it very well. The few knives he swung were all in the air, without causing any damage to the light and shadow. The same goes for other people's attacks. Be it swords, arrows, magic. All passed through the light and shadow without hitting. In other words, this god was defeated by Liu Cheng alone. Wei Meng took a deep breath and his face gradually turned red. Then, fighting spirit burst out in my heart. He has a strong nature, but in these two waves of monsters, even against the gods, he did not do much. This was too much for him to accept. I have to play some role, I can't hold back any longer. Wei Meng gritted his teeth in his heart. At the same time, others finally came to their senses. In the settlement, bursts of cheers suddenly burst out. We won, we won. Survived the crisis of the coming of gods. It's great not to have to be a slave, woo woo woo. Some people cheered and some cried with joy. More people looked at the figure next to the bronze tree. God Liu. At this time, everyone's mood was beyond words. Facing the monster tide twice, Liu Cheng was the one who turned the tide. As a result, this time, the gods descended and despair instantly enveloped the entire settlement. At the critical moment, it was Liu Cheng who stepped forward. It's boss Liu Cheng again who saved us. Everyone was extremely excited. No. We can't go on like this. We can't always count on God Liu alone. In the crowd, some people silently clenched their fists. A sense of urgency also surged in the hearts of others. After 2 waves of monsters, they thought they could live in peace for a while. As a result, within a day, gods descended from the sky to enslave everyone. If Liu Cheng hadn't stepped forward and destroyed the light and shadow, they may have become followers of the god of destruction. Disaster is coming. The world is different from before, we must become stronger. That's right, we can't let Mr. Liu Cheng fight alone, we have to make some contributions. And, the god of destruction also said he would make a comeback. Many people are anxious. The key is that when the light and shadow dissipate, there is still a threat left behind. Although he didn't finish speaking, many people listened. But this time, they were not as scared as before. What are you afraid of? Wait until the god of destruction comes back. No matter what, I will fight for my life again. That's right, become as strong as possible and then you can fight him. And, even if there is no god, there will be other threats. Become stronger. You must become stronger. Many people immediately started to hunt monsters. Some people also prepared dry food and prepared for long-distance exploration to find the settlement's sealing stone. The desire to become stronger is rising in the heart, and the enthusiasm of everyone in the settlement has reached a higher level. Glancing at the chat in the settlement, Liu Cheng smiled slightly. Everyone is very motivated, which is a good thing. However, For him, destroying the phantom of the gods is not a big deal. Anyway, the final result is no different from the previous life. If there is a population base, it is just a piece of fat in the eyes of the gods. As long as you are unwilling to give up your faith, you will be hit sooner or later, and the time will not be much different. To talk about the difference from the previous life. The only thing is that after destroying the light and shadow of the gods, he refined a divine particle. The harvest is quite rich. Thinking of this, Liu Cheng took a look. Divine particles are being collected, the progress is 99%. The collection speed of divine particles is gratifying, and the collection can be completed in a blink of an eye. After a while, the progress bar filled up. At the same time, a system prompt sounded in Liu Cheng's ears. Ding! The collection of divine particles was successful. One divine particle has been collected in the Origin Energy illustrated book. Closing square bracket. Liu Cheng's mind turned and he checked the Origin Energy illustration. The next moment, a curtain of light unfolded in front of him. The light curtain emerges, just like a real book in illustration, and can be turned page by page. At this time, the number of monsters included in the illustrated book has reached 7. Origin Energy illustrated book. Transfer picture book. 1 picture. 1 turn picture book. 5 pictures. Pine Tree Demon. The Forgotten. Pioneer of adaptive A-frame machinery. Nightmare Poisonous Insect. Illustrated introductions appeared on the light screen. Liu Cheng quickly turned the page. The previous monsters are not of high level and only have a 1-sentence introduction. The illustration of the god of destruction, light and shadow, is naturally on the last page. Turning to the next page, Liu Cheng was a little surprised. Giant Snow Worm, Level 20, Black Iron Level Boss. Closing square bracket. Arrived in the thin ice wheat field, driven by the sealed ice demon, without wisdom, and his combat power has not reached the star level. Closing square bracket. Refined income. Origin Energy upper limit plus 39, Mana value upper limit plus 94, Agility plus 2, Intelligence plus 3. Closing square bracket. Seal the ice demon. Liu Cheng raised his eyebrows. This kind of monster is very special, it is an elemental sealing stone guardian beast. Wherever the sealing ice demon appears, there must be a settlement sealing stone nearby. The snow worm's illustration provides the whereabouts of the elemental ice demon, which is an unexpected surprise. He really needs it now. Destroy the 5 settlement sealing stones, and the prerequisites for the city mission will be met. At that time, after completing the other 2 items, you can officially start preparing to upgrade the city. It seemed that he had to take a trip to this thin ice wheat field. Liu Cheng thought in his mind and flipped through the illustrated book. At this time, there is only the last page left in the illustrated book. On this last page, there is the light and shadow of the god of destruction. Divine illustrated book. 1. God of destruction, light and shadow. Grade. Closing square bracket. One of the lights and shadows reflected by the god of destruction, carrying a trace of divine coercion and without combat power. Closing square bracket. Refined income. Origin Energy upper limit plus 50, Divine Particles plus 1, Divine Particle Containment Slot plus 1. Closing square bracket. Divine Particle Containment Slot, 1/1. There is not much introduction about the god of destruction in the illustrated book. Liu Cheng knew this well. After all, what he extracted was just a ray of light and shadow, not the real god of destruction. Harvesting a divine particle was beyond his expectation. At this time, a burst of golden light flashed below the illustrated page. That is the golden light emitted by the divine particles. Glancing at the particles, the corners of Liu Cheng's mouth rose. But at this moment, there was a sudden movement in his storage space. Liu Cheng was a little surprised and hurriedly checked. Soon, he discovered the problem. This unusual movement actually comes from the Challenger metal. I mobilized the storage space in my mind, and the Challenger metal in the shape of a 6-pointed star suddenly fell into my hand. Then, a system prompt rang in his ears. Ding! Challenger metal has detected divine particles. Are they contained? Closing square bracket. Use the Challenger metal to contain divine particles and you will be rewarded. Closing square bracket. Listen to the system prompts. Liu Cheng was really pleasantly surprised. Unexpectedly, the Challenger metal can also contain divine particles. But soon, he was relieved. This Challenger metal has a greater origin than the embrace of origin energy. It is a reward for completing the most difficult job transfer. It's not too much to be able to contain divine particles. Only, after containment, will there be rewards. Containment. Liu Cheng had a thought in his mind. The next moment, the Challenger metal glowed faintly. The divine particles flickered and floated up, sinking into the metal. After a while, the system prompt sounded. Ding, containment successful. You gain plus 10 free attribute points. Closing square bracket. A ray of white light fell and disappeared into Liu Cheng's body. Then, there was another system prompt. Ding, the Challenger metal contains divine particles, and the challenge mission is unlocked. Closing square bracket. Challenge mission. Own health and mana reaches 15,000 points. Completion reward. Elemental shell skill heritage stone. Failure penalty. None. Closing square bracket. Elemental body. Listening to the system prompts, Liu Cheng couldn't help but open his eyes. This Challenger metal gave him quite a surprise. Elemental body. This is one of the most critical skills in the magic system. Only with the elemental body skill can one have the ability to master various elemental energies. Just like the previous dark energy explosion skill book. You need to master the dark attribute energy before you can learn. Those powerful late-stage skills often cannot bypass the elemental body. But, Liu Cheng's mind was spinning. Compared with mastering various elements, this elemental body has a more important meaning. That is, mastering elemental body as a necessary prerequisite for the body of all laws skill. Think of the skill effects of the body of 10,000 laws. Liu Cheng couldn't help but feel hot. With the body of all laws skill, you can begin to fuse and even create your own spells. For spell professions, the improvement brought is extremely huge. Liu Cheng breathed a sigh of relief and calmed down. The body of 10,000 dharmas is certainly powerful, but its requirements are also quite high. Not to mention the skill book, he can't meet the attribute requirements alone now. To learn the body of 10,000 dharmas, you need to reach 800 points in all 5 basic attributes. Added up, it is a total attribute of 4,000 points. Even if he gets a lot of free attributes, he is still far away from 4,000 points. A mage with average development would need more than 100 levels to get enough points, even if the points are not biased. However, that will be a long time later. For now, let's learn the elemental body first. Liu Cheng glanced at the properties panel. Now, his blood volume is close to 14,000 points, and his mana level is also close to 10,000 points. However, this is the attribute after wearing the equipment. Excluding equipment, his HP is less than 10,000, and his mana is only over 6,000. It is still far away from the requirement of 15,000 points. But fortunately, he has enough free attribute points. Now, he has accumulated 690 free attribute points. It's enough to meet the requirements of the elemental body. After calculating in his mind, Liu Cheng nodded. Then, start adding points. With the continuous investment of free attribute points, his body was glowing with brilliance, and his attributes were rising steadily. After a while, the system prompt sounded. Ding, the health value has reached the challenge mission requirements. Closing square bracket. With the addition of 169 free attribute points, Liu Cheng's physical attribute reached 483 points, and his blood volume soared to 15,000. Just meets the task requirements. Then, there are the spiritual attributes. Soon, the mental attributes were also added. After consuming 288 free attribute points, the mental attribute reached 484 points, and the mana level also met the requirements. Comfortable. After adding the points, Liu Cheng nodded with satisfaction. It's great to have more attribute points. Even after squandering a lot, he still had a lot of free attribute points in his hand. This was left here specifically to deal with certain secret realms or tasks that had special requirements. The next moment, a system prompt sounded in his mind. Ding, the mana has reached the challenge mission requirements. Closing square bracket. You have completed the challenge mission and received the reward, Elemental Shell Skill Heritage Stone. Closing square bracket. Accompanied by system prompts, Guanghua emerged, holding up a skill inheritance stone and floating it in front of Liu Cheng. Skill Inheritance Stone, Elemental Body. Quality, Yellow Gold Level. Restrictions on use. When your health and mana reach 15,000, you need to consume 2 skill points. Closing square bracket. Elemental Body. After learning it, you will immediately gain the upper limit of mana plus 1000 and intelligence plus 50. Closing square bracket. In addition, you have the ability to master elemental energy. For each trait you master, you can get the corresponding attribute skill bonus. Closing square bracket. Comma. This is also a yellow gold level skill. Study. Liu Cheng had a thought in his mind. Ding, you used the skill inheritance stone, consumed 2 skill points, and mastered the elemental body skill. Closing square bracket. The brilliance lit up and enveloped Liu Cheng. In the blink of an eye, his intelligence increased by 50 points, and the upper limit of his mana level also increased by 1,000 points. As he masters the elemental body, a system prompt sounded. Reminder. As the number of elemental attributes mastered increases, the quality of the elemental body can be improved accordingly. Closing square bracket. Good. Listening to the system prompts, Liu Cheng was very satisfied. Then, he glanced at the challenger medal. When the medal reaches the white-silver level, will there be new challenging tasks? Liu Cheng had some expectations in his heart. Now, he has 64 reputation points, not far from the upgrade requirement of 100 points. Putting away the medal, Liu Cheng stood up. Next, it's time to hunt down the sealed ice demon. He killed the snow worm boss in a wheat field. The location where the ice demon is sealed is not far from the wheat field. The destination was clear, and Liu Cheng immediately started to move. With the traveling boots, he was much faster than before. You can reach the wheat field in 20 minutes at most. On the way, Liu Cheng stopped by to check out Spire of Myriad Laws. This miracle building is not far from being upgraded. Spire of Myriad Laws. Current level. Level 0. Upgrade progress. 7,136 10,000ths. Burn skills. Fireball, Energy Shield, Ice Arrow. Closing square bracket. Number of people learning Fireball, 2,118. Number of people learning Energy Shield, 2,712. Number of people learning Ice Arrow, 2,606. Total number of students, 7,136. Total feedback obtained. Skill points plus 6, free attribute points plus 60. Closing square bracket. Reminder. The feedback has reached the current level limit. The excess feedback has been stored and will be fed back after the building is upgraded. Closing square bracket. Glancing at the panel, Liu Cheng nodded with satisfaction. In just a few hours, more than 7,000 people have learned the skills. The feedback he received was also extremely impressive. That is, relying on the skill points fed back by the spire. Only then can he learn 2 yellow gold level skills in a row. But now, feedback has reached its limit. The progress bar of the spire upgrade is still far from enough. After just one glance, Liu Cheng understood. In fact, this is easy to understand. There are more than 10,000 people in Settlement No. 1024. Even with several consecutive waves of feedback, everyone's attributes have improved a lot. But it's only the second day after the disaster. It is relatively easy to upgrade to level 4, but it is difficult to upgrade to level 7. But most people still only have 1 skill point. In addition, the 3 skills he burned are all from the spell system. Although the spell system is a large category and includes many professions, the overall proportion is not too high. It is already very good to have 7,000 visitors. In the final analysis, there are still not enough people. Liu Cheng secretly said, it's not just Spire of Myriad Laws that needs to be studied. Future city upgrades will also have population requirements. It is not unusual for the super large city of Late Stage and Cataclysm to have a population of over 10 million. And, now, there are still many survivors who have not rushed to the settlement, but are hiding at home or taking refuge in other places. However, as time passes day by day, the monsters coming will become stronger and stronger, and places outside the settlement will become more and more dangerous. Thinking in his mind, Liu Cheng had an idea. Long before, he had asked Li Yuanqing to arrange manpower to find these survivors and bring them to the settlement. At that time, Li Yuanqing was still reluctant, but he agreed because he did not dare to disobey Liu Cheng. But when he brought back the first group of people and found out that he had received a lot of experience points as a reward, he immediately smiled and his hands and feet became much more agile. After one night, some results have been achieved. However, after all, he has limited manpower and the efficiency is still not high. But now, as everyone's attributes improve, more people can do this. For those with lower levels, this experience reward is still considerable. Thinking of this, Liu Cheng opened the settlement chat. Everyone, his mind turned and he sent a message. Wow, God Liu, my idol speaks again. Boss Liu Cheng, you finally showed up. I want to hang out with you. Look at me, I endure hardships and endure scolding. Shish, stop scrolling and listen to what Mr. Liu Cheng has to say. There was excitement in the chat in the settlement, but it quickly became quiet again. Now, there are still many survivors who have no settlements and are living outside. I hope everyone can. Liu Cheng quickly explained the matter. As soon as he finished speaking, messages flooded the chat channel. It can be of help, it's suffocating me to death. God Liu, don't worry, I'll go now. And, you can get experience points as a reward for bringing people back to the settlement. This reward is not bad. Great, I'm as talented as a tomboy, and low-level monsters can't hit me at all. I'm suitable for this. Quote. Everyone was very enthusiastic and quickly studied the task assignment. Soon, the tasks were assigned. In the settlement, people were divided into 3 waves. Occupations include woodcutter and stone quarry, responsible for collecting resources and reducing the consumption of building houses. Those with strong survivability are responsible for searching for survivors and bringing them back to the settlement. Those whose combat power is guaranteed and who can penetrate deep into the strange area are responsible for finding the settlement sealing stone. Brother Liu Cheng, please treat me well and make sure you complete the mission. During the chat in the community, everyone clapped their chests and expressed their assurances. Immediately, everyone got busy. After experiencing so many crises, they are no longer lazy. Looking at the chat content, Liu Cheng smiled slightly. The benefits of strong cohesion have gradually emerged. Then, he turned off the panel and continued on his way. 20 minutes later, Liu Cheng stopped. In front of you is a wheat field, with many huge worms drilling in and out. The fields are vast, intersecting with distant woods. Deep in the wheat field, there is also a huge worm corpse. It was the snow worm boss he had killed before. After confirming that the position was correct, Liu Cheng drew out his staff. Then, a fireball was blasted in the other direction. Boom! The fireball exploded among several scrap metal monsters, and the monsters immediately fell over. Ding! You killed the scrap iron monster, level 15, and gained plus 1026 experience points. Ding! You killed the scrap iron monster, level 15. The system prompt sounded and Liu Cheng stepped forward. This is a level 15 monster that he has not yet refined. In order to maintain the acceleration effect of the traveling boots, he didn't kill many monsters along the way. Now, I just want to refine it. Ding! The scrap iron monster, level 15, is successfully refined. You get the origin energy upper limit plus 2, and the mana value upper limit plus 4. Closing square bracket. 3 scrap metal monsters have been refined. Liu Cheng raised his head. The next step is to find the settlement seal stone and seal the ice demon. As for the direction, it's very simple, just walk along the wheat field. Liu Cheng held his staff and drove straight in. On the way, throw fireballs to refresh the passive layer. Each fireball can kill several snow worms. Although it is not as good as mowing the grass during the monster wave, his killing efficiency is too high and the experience gain he brings is still considerable. More than 20 minutes later, Liu Cheng went all the way to the end of the wheat field, and a new monster appeared in his sight. Demonized Snowman. Level 21. HP, 20,120,100. At the same time, in the forest in the distance, there was a light green light looming. Found it. Liu Cheng's eyes lit up. That location, presumably, is where the ice demon is sealed. Roar. All around, demonized snowmen more than 2 meters high roared and surrounded Liu Cheng. Having humans set foot in the frost forest makes them excited. The next moment, a fireball fell. Boom! The flames burned and engulfed these snowmen in an instant. Ding! You killed the demonized snowman, level 21, gained experience value plus 2761, origin energy upper limit plus 0.26. Closing square bracket. Ding! You killed the demonized snowman, level 21, and gained experience points. Liu Cheng raised his hand and started refining. With his current damage, it would be too easy to kill these mobs instantly. Ding! After successfully refining 3 demonic snowmen, level 21, you will get the origin energy limit plus 7.2 and the HP limit plus 17. Closing square bracket. Soon, the demonized snowman was refined. Liu Cheng moved on. That light green light is not too far away from him, and it won't take long for him to arrive. Moreover, the experience provided by the demonized snowman is also quite good. Along the way, he also kept showing off other small skills. Fireball, Ice Arrow, Energy Shield, Fire Wall, Ice Spear. As the skills mastered gradually increase, he also adds passive stacks faster. At this moment, a system prompt sounded in his ears. Ding! A house has been completed in the settlement where you are located, and you get feedback, free attribute point plus 1. Closing square bracket. Listen to the system prompts. Liu Cheng looked satisfied. In the settlement, a second house was completed. He also received attribute point feedback. This efficiency is quite good. The bonuses provided by first-level houses are not much, but when they are upgraded, they will be very impressive. Liu Cheng murmured in his heart. Although buildings like houses are ordinary, they can also be upgraded using materials. The newly constructed residential buildings are all first class. Upgrade to level 2, and the bonuses provided will increase a lot. However, if you want to upgrade the houses, you need to have the corresponding architectural drawings in the settlement. While thinking about it, Liu Cheng moved forward. The snowman mobs around him did not affect his speed at all. Not long after, Liu Cheng entered the depths of the jungle. Ahead, the light green brilliance also brightened. Not far from the settlement ceiling stone, Liu Cheng's mind turned and mana was poured into the long traveling boots. At this moment, his steps were a little faster. His mana capacity is now as high as 16,000, which can support such a small consumption. As the settlement ceiling stone gets closer and closer, Liu Cheng also became wary. This time, he may have to face more than just the sealed ice demon boss. After all, the surrounding monsters are level 21 snowmen. The sealed ice demon can control the snow worm, but it may not be able to control the snowman boss. But, with his current combat power, 2 boss, that's 2 rewards. Liu Cheng summoned an energy shield and continued to move forward. The brilliance ahead is becoming clearer and clearer. It's only over 100 meters away from the settlement's ceiling stone. Suddenly, behind him, there was a soft rustling sound. At the same time, the True Sight necklace also lit up and issued an early warning. True Sight detects an approaching threat. Direction: rear, closing square bracket. The next moment, a huge snowman with a height of 5 meters suddenly appeared. This is a snowman king that has been lying in wait here, and now it launches a sneak attack. Roar! There was a roar, and the snowman king swooped over, swinging his snow-condensed arms straight towards Liu Cheng. The snowman king's eyes were scarlet, containing murderous intent. With its size and strength, it can tear the human in front of it to pieces with just one grab. Liu Cheng quickly turned around and activated True Sight. At the same time, the staff was raised, and meteors and fire showered out. With the bonus of the casting speed of the Breath of Grace, the chanting time of meteor fire rain is only 1 second. Boom boom boom. The fire splashed, and the flints burned and rolled, then roared and fell down. In an instant, Firestone faced Snow Fist, and a series of damage numbers appeared. 28,125. 28,207. 28,179. Roar. The Snowman King screamed in pain, but before it could fully roar, its body stiffened. All the remaining flints also hit, directly clearing its health bar. From the time the Snowman King appeared to when he was instantly killed, it only took a few seconds. At this point, the Snowman King's attributes have been explored. Snowman King, dead. Level 21, Black Iron Boss. HP, 0,750 thousandths. Characteristics: Nature likes cold, has great strength, fears heat. Status: controlled by the sealed ice demon. Comma. Then, the system prompt also sounded. Ding, you killed Black Iron level boss. Snowman King, gained experience value plus 90,000, origin energy limit plus 4.2. Closing square bracket. You alone killed the Black Iron boss of the same level or above and received plus 42 free attribute points. Closing square bracket. You gained 11 reputation points. Closing square bracket. Listen to the system prompts. Liu Cheng was satisfied. Another 11 points of reputation. The 100 points to upgrade the challenger medal are getting closer and closer. Only, Liu Cheng remained vigilant. This Snowman King is not the real owner, but the boss controlled by the sealed ice demon. The real guardian beast of the sealing stone has not yet appeared. Liu Cheng looked around. At this time, there were dead trees and white snow all around, with sporadic snowman activities, but no trace of the sealed ice demon. However, Liu Cheng knew it. The Snowman King does not have swarm characteristics, and will not get angry just because he kills a large number of snowmen. If you suddenly attack yourself, you are probably controlled by the sealed ice demon. In other words, the sealed ice demon is probably hiding in the dark. Seeing that the sealed ice demon had no intention of showing up, Liu Cheng's mind changed and he walked towards the settlement sealing stone. As the guardian beast of the seal stone, if the settlement seal stone is destroyed, it will also die together. Just when Liu Cheng was 100 meters away from the sealing stone, there was a sudden noise in the forest. A monster covered in ice crystals emerged from the white snow. It was the sealed ice demon. At this time, there was also shock in the pupils of the sealed ice demon. It originally wanted to order the Snowman King to take the lead in a sneak attack, and then attack from the other side. Unexpectedly, the Snowman King could not help but fight so hard that he was killed in a single encounter. Seeing this human being getting closer to the settlement sealing stone, it had no choice but to show up. Roar! The sealed ice demon let out a long roar and activated the skill directly. Suddenly, the surrounding temperature dropped sharply, and the trees on the ground were covered with ice in an instant. The ice roared and condensed into frost armor, quickly covering its body. However, that's about it. Liu Cheng's hand flashed with fire. The previously sealed ice demon has not appeared yet, delaying some time. Now, the cooling of his meteor shower has improved. Brush. Silver light flashed across, Liu Cheng waved his staff, and meteors and fire showered out. Bang 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 bang. 30 rounds of flint hit one after another, instantly sealing the ice demon's health and reducing it to the bottom. The next moment, the system prompt sounded. Ding, you killed the sealing stone guardian beast. The sealing ice demon, gained plus 90,000 experience points, and the upper limit of origin energy plus 4.5. Closing square bracket. You alone killed the sealing stone guardian beast of the same level or above, and received plus 44 free attribute points. Closing square bracket. You have gained 12 reputation points. Closing square bracket. Boom. The sealed ice demon's pupils lost focus, his body stiffened inch by inch, and finally fell to the ground. Under it, several rays of light lit up, representing fallen trophies. Liu Cheng glanced at him and raised his eyebrows. Among those trophies, there was a purple light. Purple light represents at least Azure Bronze level quality. Liu Cheng stepped forward and activated Origin Energy's Embrace. Refining. Ding, the refining of the sealed ice demon, level 22, is successful. You get the Origin Energy limit plus 4.5 and the agility plus 6. Closing square bracket. Origin Energy Illustrated Book Inclusion Number plus 1. Closing square bracket. Then, look at the loot. Emitting a purple shimmer is a scroll with exquisite textures. Demon Index Scroll. Quality. Azure Bronze level. Affected by the sealed ice demon, this place is delivering energy to a nearby demon lurking place. After use, the location of the devil's lurking place can be discovered. Closing square bracket. Type of place where demons lurk, ice cave. Closing square bracket. Tip. The ice cave demon is a level 25 bronze boss and is extremely dangerous. Closing square bracket. After a quick glance, Liu Cheng's eyes lit up. Index scroll. This is good stuff. In the previous life, the price of this index scroll was higher than many Azure Bronze level equipment. Because any place where demons lurk is equivalent to a small treasure. The place where demons lurk is very similar to Secret Realm. Because it is not in subspace, there is no settlement reward for Secret Realm. But monster experience, drops, etc. are much higher in Secret Realm. After all, the rewards are higher than those of Secret Realm at the same level. And, in the ice cave, there is likely to be an ice soul stone. This is one of the materials needed to upgrade the city. Although it is not as precious as the heart of the city. However, it would be nice if you can get it in advance. Liu Cheng's mind was spinning. After killing 2 black iron bosses in a row, his reputation value has reached 87 points. Together with this ice cave demon, we can make up to 100 points. At that time, the challenger medal can be upgraded to the white-silver level. Liu Cheng shook his hand and won the scroll. Use. Ding, you used the demon index scroll, and the location of the ice cave has been discovered. Closing square bracket. Along with this system prompt, a glimmer of light lit up, guiding us deep into the jungle. After a quick glance, Liu Cheng raised his eyebrows slightly. The location of the ice cave is not far from where he is now. However, we have to finish the matter at hand first. Liu Cheng raised his hand and put the rest of the loot into the storage space. Then, he turned to look at the Snowman King. He hadn't bothered to clean up the battlefield before he killed the Snowman King. This is, arriving in front of the Snowman King's body, Liu Cheng raised his eyes. What he didn't expect was that the Snowman King actually exploded a spherical element crystal. Ice element crystal, quality, black iron level. Special materials contain ice attribute energy and can be used to strengthen weapons or equipment. Closing square bracket. Picking up this crystal, a system prompt rang in his ears. Ding, ice attribute energy has been detected, is it absorbed into the elemental body? Closing square bracket. Extract. Liu Cheng is in a good mood. This elemental crystal is a special material that contains the energy of various elements. Used to build equipment, it can be added with elemental special effects to increase its power a lot. However, for him, it doesn't have to be so troublesome. He has mastered the elemental body and can directly absorb elemental energy. Following Liu Cheng's instructions, around him, mana surged up, colorful, flowing around him, like armor, reaching for the elemental crystals. Under contact, the elemental crystals begin to fade, and energy is being absorbed from them. Soon, the system prompt sounded. Ding, the absorption of ice element crystals is complete. Closing square bracket. You have mastered ice attribute energy, gained intelligence +10, spirit +10. Closing square bracket. The damage of your ice skills is increased by 10%. Closing square bracket. The impact of ice control below level 3 on you is reduced by 30%. Closing square bracket. Listening to the system prompts, Liu Cheng was in a good mood. The ice attribute energy penetrated into the body, feeling cool and very comfortable. By absorbing elemental energy, the attribute points alone increased by 20 points. Moreover, compared to the attribute points, the last 2 special effects are the biggest. All ice skills will increase the output by 10%. This is a percentage bonus. The closer to the late stage, the stronger the effect. In addition, there are also ice attribute control reductions. With this attribute, the current ice system control will have very little impact on him. Good. Liu Cheng cancelled the elemental body and then stretched out his hand to refine it. Ding, you have successfully refined the Snowman King, level 21. You will get the origin energy limit +42, the HP limit +50, and the strength +4. Closing square bracket. Origin energy illustrated book inclusion number +1. Closing square bracket. After refining, Liu Cheng took out his staff. As the monsters you kill become stronger and stronger, the origin energy limit is accumulated faster and faster. Now, his origin energy limit has reached more than 610 points. Next, it's time to destroy the settlement ceiling stone. Bang, dash, 28,652. Boom, dash, 29,123. Boom, dash, 30,336. This settlement ceiling stone exceeds level 20, and its durability is much higher than the previous 2. However, he still couldn't withstand Liu Cheng's output. After several spells were thrown down in succession, the durability of the settlement sealing stone quickly bottomed out and it shattered with a click. Then, the system prompt sounded. Ding, you destroyed the settlement seal stone and got a reward. Closing square bracket. You gained free attribute points plus 30. Closing square bracket. You have gained plus 200,000 experience points and plus 3,000 merit points. Closing square bracket. Notice, the settlement sealing stone was destroyed, and everyone in settlement node 1024 received all attributes plus 2. Closing square bracket. The settlement hub gains experience value plus 20% and growth speed plus 5%. Closing square bracket. The white light fell and enveloped Liu Chang, causing his experience and attribute points to increase. At the same time, the notice was also received in the settlement. Suddenly, the chat channel became lively. The announcement is here. Boss Liu Chang is as awesome as ever. Thank you God Liu. Now, my attributes are just enough to wear equipment. Wait a minute, why did all attributes increase by 2 points this time? It's doubled compared to before. In the settlement, everyone was surprised and happy. It hasn't been that long since the gods arrived. Liu Chengju destroyed another sealing stone. This action is too fast. The rewards provided by the sealing stone are increasing. Does it mean that the level is also increasing? It seems that we have to search the places where high-level monsters are found, so we have a better chance of finding them. A few members of a team responsible for searching for the seal stone discussed it and headed deeper into the strange area. Ha ha ha, you are lucky. You got a bonus when you first came to the settlement. At the edge of the protective shield, a muscular priest laughed. Beside him were a few survivors in rags. Listening to the system announcement, these people were stunned. You don't have to do anything to get attributes. Is there such a good thing? Several people looked at each other with disbelief on their faces. They had just stepped into this settlement. I didn't do anything, just added 10 points of attributes for nothing. They fought hard and finally reached a level, but only got this number of attribute points. That's not because God Liu is awesome. The pastor looked proud. Brother, who is this God Liu? He must be very powerful, right? Among the group of people, the leading middle-aged man handed over a cigarette and asked questions in a low voice. He was very vigilant and checked the settlement chat as soon as he came in. This is a name that a lot of people mention. It's not just powerful, it's simply strong. Forget it, you will understand after you take a look at my attributes. The pastor waved his hand and showed the panel directly. Okay, the middle-aged man looked over quickly. As a result, after taking a look, he suddenly became excited. Strength is 29 points, agility is 27 points, and constitution is 33 points. The middle-aged man's eyes widened. How could this pastor be so strong? Every attribute is close to 30 points. This is a real boss. With so many attributes, she can't reach them even if she levels up to 10 levels. Could it be said that you are? He murmured, his eyes shining with surprise. And opposite him. No, I'm not God Liu. Even if I'm 10, I can't even catch up to God Liu. The pastor took one look at the middle-aged man's expression, guessed the meaning, and hurriedly waved his hands. He was a little embarrassed and explained. What I mean is that I got all these attribute points thanks to God Liu. Everyone in the settlement gets the same attributes as me. What? The middle-aged man was shocked again. Several other survivors also looked in disbelief. In this settlement, everyone's attributes are so high. This is incredible. Watch and watch, your attributes will gradually increase. By then, you will know how lucky you are to be able to hold God Liu's lap. The pastor added another sentence, and then began to explain. Okay, I'm going to find other survivors. It's safe in the settlement, and you will be able to adapt soon. Other survivors? You mean, others can be brought here? The middle-aged man raised his head suddenly, his voice urgent. Of course, do you know the location of other people? After our settlement was destroyed, people fled. I know the whereabouts of one group of people. There are a lot of people, more than 300 people. Is that okay? The middle-aged man was extremely anxious. There are so many people that food alone is a huge expense. That's great. The pastor was overjoyed and waved his hand. Quickly lead the way, I'll wave you away. Then, he clicked on the settlement chat. At the same time. On the other side, Liu Cheng stopped. At this time, he had passed through the dense forest, and there was a chilling coldness in front of him, and the ground was covered with thick ice. Stepping onto the ice, the system prompts immediately sounded. Ding, you arrived at the ice cave and alerted the ice cave demon. Closing square bracket. Roar, the moment Liu Cheng stepped into the ice cave. A series of wolf howls sounded all around. Nearly 10 wolf monsters appeared, their eyes were red, and they kept growling. Under the influence of the ice cave demon, they became more bellicose and walked towards Liu Cheng. Liu Cheng had some free time and saw that the wolves and monsters were gathering more densely. He raised his hand and fired a fireball. Boom! The fireball exploded, blasting away a swarm of wolf monsters. Suddenly, the system prompt sounded. Ding! You killed the demonized snow wolf level 23, gained experience value plus 3815, origin energy upper limit plus 0.28. Closing square bracket. Ding! You killed the demonized snow wolf level 23, gained experience value plus 3815, origin energy upper limit plus 0.28. Closing square bracket. Ding! You killed the demonized snow wolf level 23 and gained experience points. Comma. Although there is only a difference of 2 levels, the demonized snow wolf has 1001 more experience than the demonized snowman. Good. Listening to the system prompts, Liu Cheng felt comfortable. The monsters in the demon lurking place are indeed rich in experience. Moreover, there are many monsters in the ice cave. Going all the way, he might be able to reach level 16 before meeting the ice cave demon. Liu Cheng picked up his staff and moved on. At the same time, in the settlement, a team of nearly 10 people has been gathered. This team, led by the priest from before, quickly set off to pick up the survivors. Brother, so many people are really causing trouble for you. The middle-aged man was protected by everyone and was so moved that he shed tears. It's nothing. We could have been rewarded for bringing you back. 300 people is not enough. The priest waved his hand. He was telling the truth. After bringing these 10 people back, he gained more than 1,000 experience points, which was much more efficient than hunting monsters. There are more than 300 people, and everyone's experience is equally divided, that's more than 3,000 per person. And, the priest secretly puffed up his chest. This is the task assigned by God Lu. Oh, too many people died. Originally, the monster wave would not have killed so many people. The middle-aged man clenched his fists when he thought of sad things, feeling very sad and angry. When the priest saw this, he raised his eyebrows. Judging from the appearance of this middle-aged man, it seems that the destruction of his settlement was not entirely due to the wave of monsters. Could it be that we encountered a duel of natural selection? Something moved in his heart. He once experienced a natural selection duel, and he was so scared at the time. Fortunately, God Lu stood up and won the match with no worries. But, the pastor gradually frowned. They were protected by God Lu, so they were safe and sound. But other settlements may not be so lucky. Immediately, he hurriedly asked. Upon asking, it turned out to be true. How much do you remember about the situation at that time? The more detail the better. The priest looked solemn and asked carefully. This is key information. You must write it down and report it to God Lu. At the same time, in the ice cave, Liu Cheng held a staff and kept pushing forward. During this period, wolf monsters kept appearing and attacking him in large numbers. However, with his combat power, these wolf monsters did not pose much of a threat. Wave after wave of wolf monsters fell, all turned into experience points, and the increase in experience was gratifying. At this point, he is only a little away from being upgraded. Ouch! The wolves howled, and more than a dozen wolf monsters appeared from the ice field and swooped up. Boom! Liu Cheng hit the target with a fireball. The fireball exploded and swallowed all the wolf monsters instantly. Ding! You killed 13 demonized snow wolves level 23, gained experience points plus 49,595, and the origin energy upper limit plus 3.64. Closing square bracket. After this wave of experience fell, his experience bar finally reached its peak. Ding! You have reached level 16 and gained all attributes plus 3, free attribute points plus 25, and skill points plus 1. Closing square bracket. White light flashed around him, bringing with him a sense of comfort. Call. Liu Cheng let out a sigh of relief. With the help of upgrades, he is back to his best. Next, it's time to hunt down the ice cave demon. As he went deeper into the ice cave, there was already a piece of solid ice around him. If the ice resistance is lower, they may start to lose blood. Fortunately, he has ice energy, so he doesn't have to worry about this problem. Liu Cheng moved on. As we walked, the surroundings gradually darkened. At the same time, there was a whisper in his ear. This whisper was so thin that it seemed to come from a very far away place, but also seemed to be right next to my ears, disturbing my mind. Whispering devil. Liu Cheng raised his eyelids slightly and recognized it directly. This is a mind control skill. There are quite a few monsters like demons who know this skill. If the resistance is too low, or the mind is not firm enough, it will be affected, the attributes will be reduced, and the combat power will be affected. In fact, if the whisper is too deeply affected, the whole person's temperament will change drastically. However, Liu Cheng is not afraid. He has soul resistance and is immune to mind control. This level of demonic whispering poses no threat to him. But, the appearance of this whisper can actually explain something. That is, he is not far from the location of the ice cave demon. Liu Cheng changed his mind and injected magic power into the long travel boots. The long traveling boots shimmered, and at that moment, his speed became a little faster. As he goes deeper, the monsters around have also changed. From a level 23 demonized snow wolf, he became a level 24 demon servant. The higher the level, the more experience you get. A demon servant can provide Liu Cheng with 4,200 experience points. Along the way, Liu Cheng's experience has increased rapidly. Gradually, the number of demon servants around decreased. His killing efficiency was so high that he almost killed all the demon servants. At this time, he had penetrated deep into the ice cave. But strangely, the front gradually became brighter. In the distance, there seemed to be a blue light shining, making the surroundings a lot brighter. Liu Cheng's heart moved. Blue light, this is the color of ice soul stone. Could it be that there is an ice soul stone? In the ice cave, the probability of producing ice soul stone is not low. So, Liu Cheng stepped forward quickly. The closer you get, the brighter the light becomes. Finally, after crossing an obstacle, the blue light shone brightly. On the ground in front of you, there are pieces of ore scattered, crystal clear, crystal-like, and numerous in number. These ores are scattered everywhere, emitting light, gathering together, lighting up the ice cave. These luminous ores look exactly like ice stones. True sight swept across it, and the properties of the ore suddenly emerged. Ice soul stone, a first-class material, found in ice caves. It is very strong and is one of the materials used to build cities. Closing square bracket. This is it. After glancing around, Liu Cheng was delighted. To build a city, 100 units of ice soul stone are needed. But what's in front of me far exceeds this amount. There are ice soul stones everywhere, probably thousands of them. Not only is it completely enough, but there is also a lot left over. Ice soul stone is a first-level material. In addition to building cities, it also has many wonderful uses. Enhanced weapons, equipment, etc. can be used. In the early stage of the disaster, this is a strategic resource. Looking back, Liu Cheng nodded with satisfaction. Afterwards, he started collecting ice soul stones. The storage function of his settlement has 100 cubic meters of space, which comes in handy at this time. When he looked at it, he discovered that a private message was being sent during the group chat. Liu Cheng wanted to check, but it turned out to be a team searching for the sealing stone. Boss Liu Cheng, we have gained something. We found a settlement sealing stone. Next to the sealing stone, there is a group of monsters guarding it. It is located in the south of the city. The leader of this team is a soldier named Zhao Jun. At this time, he was very excited and quickly reported the information. Found a settlement sealing stone so quickly. Liu Cheng's hands didn't stop moving, but his heart was filled with surprise. There is still strength in numbers. If it were him, it would take a lot of time just to find the settlement sealing stone. Moreover, the location in the south of the city is not far from where he is now. After killing the ice cave demon, you can destroy it along the way. Well done. Liu Cheng gave a thumbs up. We should Upon hearing this, the team suddenly became excited. After these several crises, they have grown to admire Liu Cheng beyond measure. Being praised by Liu Cheng made their hearts beat faster. Ha ha ha, we are lucky. If we talk about this later, won't we envy them to death? Why don't we just stay here and wait for Mr. Liu Cheng to come? Zhao Jun and others looked at each other with excitement. Liu Cheng started to think. Before entering the ice cave, he had just destroyed a settlement sealing stone. Including this team finding this one, it is the fourth one. We are only one step away from meeting the requirements of the prerequisite tasks. Liu Cheng opened the construction panel again. Settlement No 1024, total number of buildings, 17. Miracle Building, 1. Watchtower, 0. Houses, 16. After glancing at the progress, Liu Cheng was immediately delighted. There are now 16 private houses. This efficiency is quite slow. It seems that we are not far away from completing the city's preliminary tasks. Think of the rewards for prerequisite tasks. The corners of Liu Cheng's mouth rose slightly. Although it is just a front end, it is not directly upgraded to a city. However, the rewards are also extremely impressive. At least, it can bring the strength of everyone in the settlement to a higher level. As the acting city lord, his harvest will be even richer. It seems that the city lord trial should also be put on the agenda. Liu Cheng had a thought in his mind. There is also a city lord trial runestone in his storage space. Turning off the panel, Liu Cheng activated the storage space and continued to collect ice stones. Ding, you get 1 unit of ice soul stone. Closing square bracket. Ding, you get 1 unit of ice soul stone. System prompts keep ringing. Pieces of ice soul stones were put into his pocket. The number of these ice soul stones should be 300 to 400 units. Liu Cheng assessed it. Among them, some ice soul stones are embedded in the stone walls and need to be mined. But even if this part is excluded, there are still more than 300 units left. This harvest is quite good. Liu Cheng waved his hand like the wind, added an energy shield, and quickly collected it. This was in an ice cave, not safe, so he had to move faster. But at this moment, the necklace of True Vision suddenly lit up. True Sight detects an approaching threat. Direction: left back, right back, top. Closing square bracket. In an instant, warnings were issued in 3 directions at the same time. 3 humanoid demon servants with blue bodies appeared at the same time, and while he was collecting the ice soul stone, they suddenly launched an attack. Mana was injected into the long traveling boots. Liu Cheng's speed increased sharply. He rushed forward quickly, turned around and threw out the True Sight. Chang. Dash. 3156. The demon servant's sharp claws struck the energy shield, making a harsh clashing sound. Liu Cheng turned around and drew out his staff. He was on guard and dodged the blow. At the same time, under the True Sight, the monster's attributes are revealed. Devil's Attendant, Level 24, Elite. HP, 250,000. Physical Attack, 716, Physical Resistance, 204, Magic Resistance, 235. Characteristics: Demon Servant, Fearless of Death, Extremely Warlike, Ice Attribute. Skills: Ice Claw Strike, Invisibility into the ice. This is a 3-headed level 24 elite monster. The 3-headed demon attendants looked at each other after missing a single hit. The sneak attack failed, making them a little frightened and angry. They can blend into the icy environment, become invisible, and move silently. But they joined forces to attack this human being, but they didn't succeed. Roar! The devil's attendant roared low in his throat and moved, faintly surrounding Liu Cheng. They are the servants of the Ice Cave Devil, and their strength is quite high individually. With the cooperation, the combat power exploded as even more astonishing. Even if the Demon Lord couldn't come, it would be easy to kill this human being. Human beings deserve to die. A demon attendant sneered hoarsely. However, the next moment, a ray of fire reflected in its scarlet eyes. Boom! In midair, fire burst out, and flints tumbled in the flames, suddenly blasting out. Bang 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 bang. 30 rounds of flint fell and blasted out at the same time. Suspense flashed in the eyes of the devil's attendant, and he immediately hid in the ice to escape. However, it was too late. the flint attack hit the 3 demon attendants almost at the same time. In an instant, bright red damage numbers appeared. 29,175. 29,179. 29,172. In just a few seconds, the devil's attendant fell down, fear remaining in his red eyes. The other side, the other 2 demon attendants also fell down at the same time. Ding, you killed the demon servant, elite level, gained plus 50,000 experience points, and the origin energy limit plus 2.1. Closing square bracket. Ding, you killed the demon servant, elite level, and gained plus 50,000 experience points. In Liu Cheng's mind, a system prompt rang. The 3-headed elite monster provided him with 150,000 experience points, which was quite good. He fought his way through the ice cave, stacked up many passives, and the damage increase was close to 30,000. A shower of meteors and fire is enough to kill these 3 elites instantly. Refining. Liu Cheng raised his hand and started refining. Ding, you have successfully refined the demon servant elite. You will get the origin energy limit plus 2.1, and the HP limit plus 5.5. Closing square bracket. Ding, you successfully refined the demonic servant elite. You get the origin energy upper limit plus 2.2. Soon, the 3-headed elite monster was refined. Liu Cheng quickly swept the battlefield and looted all the loot. 2 pieces of rare equipment were revealed. He glanced at them and stuffed them directly into the storage space. Then, continued to collect the Ice Soul Stone. In a short while, less than half of the storage space was filled. At this moment, the system prompt sounded. Ding, absorbable ice element energy has been detected. Closing square bracket. Liu Cheng raised his eyes. There was an ice stone in front of him, the color was darker than other ice stones. Ice Soul Stone, unstable. The first turn material exists deep in the ice cave, absorbs a large amount of elemental energy, and contains more energy than other Ice Soul Stones. Closing square bracket. Because it is rich in energy, it is in an unstable state. Closing square bracket. This system prompt comes from this. Absorb. Liu Cheng had a thought in his mind. Suddenly, a burst of mana spread out from his body and enveloped the Ice Soul Stone. After a while, the system prompt came. Ding, the ice element energy has been absorbed successfully, and the ice element energy you control has been enhanced. Closing square bracket. You gain intelligence plus 1, spirit plus 1, ice skill damage increase plus 1%, ice control reduction plus 3%. Closing square bracket. After absorbing the ice energy, Liu Cheng was very satisfied. This was another windfall. 2 attributes or nothing. It's very practical if you can control the reduction and exemption. And in the hands of Liu Cheng. After consuming the remaining energy, the Ice Soul Stone also changed back to its original description. Good. Liu Cheng put away the ice stone and looked around. Wherever he looked, there were several dark ice stones. Immediately, he stepped forward. As expected, a system prompt sounded when approaching the dark ice stone. Liu Cheng looked happy. He can absorb these energy-rich Ice Soul Stones. Chapter 71. Absorb. Liu Cheng's mind was spinning. Brush. The mana flows, wrapping up the dark ice stones and absorbing their energy. Not long after, the system prompts sounded continuously. Ding, the ice element energy has been absorbed successfully, and the ice element energy you control has been enhanced. Closing square bracket. You gain intelligence plus 1, spirit plus 1, ice skill damage increase plus 1%, ice control reduction plus 3%. Closing square bracket. Ding, the ice energy was successfully absorbed. The pieces of Ice Soul Stone faded rapidly, and the ice energy in them disappeared into Liu Cheng's body. In the blink of an eye, he absorbed 7 or 8 dark Ice Soul Stones. At the 11th piece, Liu Cheng stopped. This is a 1-turn ice material, and the upper limit of absorption is 10 times. After glancing at the remaining Ice Soul Stones, there was indeed a system prompt. Ding, the absorption failed, and the ice system energy absorption reached the upper limit in the first turn. Closing square bracket. Listening to the system prompts, Liu Cheng didn't care. Naturally, this kind of absorption cannot continue indefinitely. Moreover, absorbing 10 Ice Soul Stones has brought him considerable gains. The bonuses from attribute points are only secondary. Mainly 2 special effects. Now, the enhancement of his ice skills has been increased to 20%, and the ice control reduction has reached 60%. Liu Cheng was in a good mood and continued to collect ice stones. Soon, he put all the exposed ice stones into the storage space. These are embedded in the stone wall and can be mined later. Liu Cheng noted the location of the ice cave in his mind. The strategic resource of ice soul stone is very popular in the early stage of the disaster and cannot be wasted. After collecting the ice soul stone, next is the ice cave demon. Liu Cheng drew out his staff and moved forward. But at this moment, a message came from the communication channel. God Liu, I have a situation report. The person who sent the private message was a pastor named Sun Shu. The thing is like this, we have found more than 300 survivors and are on the way to lead them back to the settlement. They said that their original settlement number was 1548. Shortly before the arrival of the monster wave, they suffered a natural selection battle. The situation was very similar to the one we encountered. Everyone's attributes were deducted. The one who launched the natural selection against them was a settlement from the lighthouse country. The number was very high, it seemed to be 85. I thought I wouldn't threaten us, so I came to report. Sun Shu's heart was racing very fast, and he sent a long paragraph in a swipe, which was obviously written in advance. Well, I understand, don't worry. Liu Cheng responded in his heart. He was not too surprised when this happened. Their settlement was definitely not the only one to encounter a duel of natural selection. Because there are many types of natural selection props, and there is more than one way to obtain them. If you kill a monster, there is a small chance that it will explode. It's just that this settlement number, 85. Thinking, Liu Cheng narrowed his eyes slightly. This settlement in the lighthouse country was also notorious in its previous life. The number of times natural selection has been activated is not much less than that of settlement number 93 of Japan. Moreover, this settlement also believes in a god. After natural selection wins, it will forcefully demand faith. In the past life, many people were poisoned by them. However, with his current combat power, he is not afraid of a natural selection duel. Shaking his head slightly, Liu Cheng continued to move forward. Ha! Ha! In his ears, the devil's whispers kept ringing, mixed with gasps. The deeper we go into the ice cave, the thicker the whisper becomes. However, there is a soul that resists the body protection, and this devil's whisper cannot affect him. Instead, it pointed out the location of the ice cave demon. Liu Cheng moved forward very quickly. After killing the 3 elite demon servants, no other monsters appeared in the ice cave. Not long after, Liu Cheng reached the deepest part of the ice cave. After walking around a corner, I immediately smelled the smell of blood in the air. At the same time, a system prompt sounded. Warning! You have stepped into the lurking place of the ice cave demon. The ice cave demon is extremely powerful, please stay away as soon as possible. Closing square bracket. Liu Cheng raised his eyes and immediately saw the huge demon hundreds of meters away. This is an azure bronze level demon, 5 meters long, with solid ice covering its feet, constantly drawing energy from the ground. Ice cave demon, level 25, bronze boss. HP, 1.99 million, 1.99 million. Physical attack, magic attack, closing square bracket, physical defense, magic defense, closing square bracket. Characteristics, demon descendants, closing square bracket, skill, closing square bracket. Status, sealed, unable to leave the hiding place. Under the true sight, the ice cave demon's panel is revealed. However, the level gap of 9 levels has almost reached the detection limit of true sight, leaving many data with question marks. Liu Chenggen didn't care, took out his staff and approached step by step. Roar! On the opposite side, the ice cave demon roared, with a hint of anger in his pupils. Although it cannot leave its hiding place, it can be felt. It was this human being who killed all 3 of its elite servants. But soon, it calmed down. Human, you are very lucky to have met me. How about we make a deal? The ice cave demon spoke slowly. As it spoke, it quietly activated mind control. The next second, a system prompt sounded in Liu Cheng's mind. Ding! Soul resistance is triggered, you are immune to the ice cave demon's mind control skills. Closing square bracket. Luckily indeed, What kind of deal? Liu Cheng responded, approaching step by step. What? The mind control failed, and the ice cave demon was stunned for a moment. This human being, who is only over 10 levels, can actually resist its control. Even those black iron bosses who are in their 20s can't do it. A trace of surprise flashed across its pupils, and it continued to speak. I am a pure blood demon and can transform you into demon blood. By then, you will be thousands of times stronger than you are now. As he spoke, the ice cave demon raised his claws, and a black flame danced in his palm. This is the sign of a pure-blooded devil. Real. Liu Cheng's face lit up, and he took out a large number of origin stone fragments as he walked, quickly absorbing them. He didn't care about the demon blood. Even if it is really converted into demon blood, it will only add 30 attribute points, and the race will also need to be changed. But if this is really a pure-blooded demon, the reward is even higher. Of course it's true. Pure-blood demons never bother to lie. The condition for transformation is that you have to bring 50 humans like you. The ice cave demon said, his eyes locked on Liu Cheng, observing the distance. Human beings are easy to deceive. The ice cave demon smiled ferociously in his heart. As long as this human being gets closer, it can launch a thunderstrike, kill it directly, and control it. As a result, the next moment, a flash of fire reflected in its pupils. Liu Cheng stood 50 meters away and directly launched the meteor shower. Boom boom boom. The fire splashed, and in the fierce flames, the flints rolled and burned, and suddenly flew. You wanna die. The ice cave demon was furious and swung his claws. Suddenly, endless cold air gathered and swept towards Liu Cheng. This is its strongest single target skill. It only takes a few seconds to freeze this human into an ice sculpture. The next second, flint flew down. Bang 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 bang. Dash. 72,353. Dash. 72,006. Dash. 72,518. With the blessing of origin energy, each firestone can deal more than 70,000 damage. As soon as the flint stone hit, the ice cave demon lost most of its health in just an instant. How come? The ice cave demon was terrified. It is obviously a pure-blooded demon with an extremely powerful body. But every flint hit was painful to the heart, as if it was going to tear it apart. Ouch! The frost demon roared, his body swelled, and he broke away from the ice under his feet, trying to escape. But it was too late. Its target was too big to avoid. In 1 second, all the remaining flints were hit. At the same time, the cold air enveloped Liu Cheng, causing his blood volume to plummet. But in just 1 second, Liu Cheng's blood volume returned to full point. With the blood-sucking spell of the Lingtai relic, he can restore more than 7,000 blood points with every flint that falls. No, the ice cave demon's eyes were full of disbelief, his health bar was emptied, and he fell to the ground. With a crash, the loot fell to the floor. Next moment, in Liu Cheng's mind, a system prompt rang. Ding, you killed Azure Bronze level boss. Ice Cave Demon, gained experience value plus 270,000, origin energy limit plus 8.8. Closing square bracket. You kill the bronze boss of the same level or above alone, and get free attribute points plus 75. Closing square bracket. You have gained 25 reputation points. Closing square bracket. Ding, you have reached level 17. You have gained plus 3 all attributes and plus 25 free attribute points. Closing square bracket. Ding, you destroyed a demon lurking place around the settlement and received plus 2000 merit points. Closing square bracket. Listen to the system prompts one after another. Liu Cheng was greatly relieved. Kill the Azure Bronze level boss alone and the rewards are really generous. In terms of free attribute points alone, 75 points were given. In addition to the 25 points for upgrade, there are a total of 100 points of free attributes. It is almost comparable to the settlement reward of the settlement defense battle. And, after killing the Ice Cave Demon, his reputation finally reached 100 points. Liu Cheng touched the ring lightly and took out the Challenger medal. At this time, the medal was shining brightly from top to bottom, wrapped in silver light. The upgrade conditions have been met. The Challenger medal is being upgraded, the current progress is 1%, 2%. Take advantage of this time to count the loot. Liu Cheng looked up. Next to the body of the ice cave demon, a silver treasure chest was shining. Next to the silver treasure chest, there were a few glimmers of light. Look at the silver treasure chest. Liu Cheng is in a good mood. This reward is worthy of a pure-blooded devil. Then, he rubbed his hands and started counting. The first is the core of the ice cave demon, which exudes a purple shimmer and is directly stored in the storage space by Liu Cheng. Azure Bronze Level's pure blood demon core is a very precious material. Then, there is a rare skill book. Skill book. Wind Spirit Step. General Department. After use, mastering the Wind Spirit Step skill requires level 10 or above, intelligence above 20, and consumes 1 skill point. Closing square bracket. Wind Spirit Step. Borrow the power of the wind element to increase movement speed by 15% within 10 seconds, consume 50 mana, and have a cooldown time of 60 seconds. Closing square bracket. Good. After seeing the skill introduction clearly, Liu Cheng was immediately delighted. Just looking at the effect, Wind Spirit Step can be called practical. But what's even more valuable is that this is a universal skill. In other words, after burning into Spire of Myriad Laws, everyone in the settlement can learn it. If there is a drawback, it is that the demand level is a bit high. However, this is not a problem. After many bonuses, the combat power of everyone in the settlement was already considerable. Reaching level 10 is a matter of time. By then, the number of students studying Spire of Myriad Laws will skyrocket again. Putting away the skill book, Liu Cheng looked at the last item. This is a special item, also shimmering purple. Devil's Key. Special items. A strange key seems to exude the aura of the abyss. Closing square bracket. Liu Cheng raised his eyebrows. This Devil's Key has a great reputation, and he remembers it clearly. Because this special item is related to the abyss. Use the Devil's Key as the main material, plus another special item, and after synthesis, you can open a large secret realm about the devil. And deep in that secret realm, there is the entrance to the abyss. Although the abyss is dangerous, there are also many opportunities and treasures. In the previous life, humans set foot on the abyss, in the 3rd year after the cataclysm, after the world disaster of abyss invasion. If it had been discovered earlier, it would have saved at least a year. It seems that this ice cave demon has quite a lot of background. Liu Cheng's thoughts moved slightly. Even if they are pure blood demons, not everyone possesses the demon key. No wonder the rewards are so great. It's obviously just an Azure Bronze level boss, but it can produce a silver treasure chest. Think of this. Liu Cheng had some expectations in his heart. He deliberately saved this silver treasure chest until the end. He put away the Devil's Key and reached for the treasure chest. When you open the treasure chest, a silver light suddenly flashes. Ding! You opened the silver treasure chest and got the blueprint for upgrading the house. Closing square bracket. Drawings for upgrading residential houses. Construction drawings of advanced houses. After being assembled into building functions, the upper limit of the level of settlement houses will be raised to level 2. Closing square bracket. Materials required for level 2 house. Origin stone fragment 1000, level 1 wood 100, level 1 stone 100, fine iron 10, fur 5. Closing square bracket. Level 2 house attribute bonus. All attributes +2, free attribute points +10. Closing square bracket. Listening to the system prompts, Liu Cheng was overjoyed. House upgrade drawings. The prerequisite tasks only require the number of houses, not the level. But when it comes time to prepare to upgrade the city, there are level requirements. To upgrade a settlement to a city, a certain number of level 2 houses are required. With this drawing, there is no need to worry about this aspect. The materials required for level 2 houses are not scarce and can be easily collected. The bulk of them are still in the drawings. Moreover, he can get considerable feedback by providing the drawings to the settlement. Putting away the drawings, Liu Cheng glanced at the building panels. Settlement No 1024, total number of buildings, 19. Miracle Building, 1. Watchtower, 0. Houses, 18. After a while, 2 more houses appeared in the settlement. It seems that everyone is working hard. Liu Cheng was quite pleased and reached out to refine it. Ding! The refining of the Ice Cave Demon Azure Bronze level is successful. You get the origin energy limit +88, health plus 153, and spirit plus 10. Closing square bracket. Origin Energy Illustrated Book Inclusion Number plus 1. Closing square bracket. Ding, you get the Seal of Light. Closing square bracket. Light Seal. A seal used to suppress pure-blooded demons. The number of remaining uses is 1/2. Closing square bracket. This, Liu Cheng was a little surprised. Unexpectedly, the seal on the ice cave demon was actually extracted. This origin energy embrace really surprised him. The light seal extracted was a small luminous ball, which fell into his hand. After looking at it carefully, Liu Cheng put it away. At this moment, the system prompt sounded. Ding, the Challenger medal has been upgraded successfully, and the grade has been upgraded to white-silver level. Closing square bracket. Ding, challenge mission unlocked. Completion conditions. Complete the second job transfer of the highest difficulty, and have the qualification of city leader. Mission reward. Obtain pioneer status. Closing square bracket. The upgrade is complete. Moreover, a challenge mission has been unlocked. Liu Cheng thought about it and hurriedly checked. Challenger medal. Quality. White-silver level. Wearing requirements. Complete the highest difficulty job transfer. Health plus 1000, mana plus 1000. All attributes plus 40. Special effect 1. No fear of gods. Special effect 2. Upgradable when the holder completes the second mission, the Challenger medal will be upgraded to yellow gold level. Special effect 3. Contain divinity when 6 divine particles are contained, the unique special effect is unlocked, currently 1/6. At first glance, Liu Cheng was pleasantly surprised. After reaching the white-silver level, all bonuses of the Challenger medal will be doubled. This attribute alone is no less than ordinary yellow-gold level equipment. But, what are the qualifications of this forerunner? As questions arose in his mind. The next second, a light curtain appeared in front of Liu Cheng. Forerunner qualifications. As a forerunner, if someone in the city you led completes the job change, you can get feedback. The upper limit of feedback increases with your own level and city level. Closing square bracket. Not bad. Liu Cheng was very satisfied. The rewards given by the Challenger medal are nothing short of great. As you can imagine, this will be a huge amount of feedback. He is now level 17 and is not far away from his second turn. However, before that, the City Lord mission must be completed first. Thinking of this, Liu Cheng took out the City Lord Trial Rune Stone. His merit points have reached 30,000 points, and he can check the trial content in advance. But at this moment, a message suddenly sounded in the communication channel. Liu Cheng wanted to check, but it was the team that found the sealing stone. Brother Liu Cheng, it's bad. Those monsters suddenly started gnawing at the ground under the sealing stone, as if they want to move the sealing stone away. Zhao Jun's tone was extremely anxious, and the news was sent quickly. What should we do? Why do these monsters want to move the sealing stone? Next to a gas station, several members of the team were hiding in the corner, looking anxious. A few hundred meters in front of them, a group of oil monsters sprouted fangs and were gnawing at the ground. Seeing large chunks of land being chewed away, the sealing stones began to loosen. What should we do? If this continues, they will be able to move the sealing stone away in less than half an hour. A mage is in a hurry. A few of them are only at level 5 or 6, but this group of guardian monsters are at level 16 or 7. If discovered, it would be a narrow escape. It is simply unrealistic to follow it all the way. Wait a minute, I've already reported it to Boss Liu Cheng. Zhao Jun stared intently, his heart burning with anxiety. At this time, his communication panel flashed. Brother Liu Cheng replied. After a quick glance, Zhao Jun's face was filled with joy. He said, "Don't worry, he will be there soon." At the same time, in the ice cave, Liu Cheng's mind turned and he replied to the message. In front of him, a translucent light curtain slowly dissipated. Among them, it is the content of the City Lord's trial. City Lord trial. You can only activate it if you have the qualifications to act as an acting City Lord. Closing square bracket. Test target. Small monster force, Dementors. Closing square bracket. Current trial content. Kill 1000 monsters in the Dementor forces around settlement No. 1024. Closing square bracket. Current trial rating. None. Trial time. 7 days. Completion reward. After passing the trial, you will receive plus 100 free attribute points. At the same time, you gain the authority of the city owner, unlock the anchoring function, and can teleport back to the settlement hub 3 times a day. Closing square bracket. Comma. In the light curtain, a map emerged, marking the location of this monster's power. With one glance at the light screen, Liu Cheng already knew it. Monster forces are a very special type of existence among monsters. There are a large number of monsters of the same kind gathered there, forming a powerful force in large numbers. The special thing is that after forming a monster force, the growth rate of the monsters increases significantly. And among them, there may be intelligent monsters leading them. In the city era, this type of monsters were the main force in the monster tide. Liu Cheng's mind was spinning. The monster power was originally among his goals. This type of monster provides considerable experience. Moreover, if you can wipe out the surrounding monster forces in advance, when you build a city, the rewards will increase significantly. If he wants to build a city, the more rewards, the better. Putting away the trial rune stones, Liu Cheng set off. The location reported by the team was near a gas station in the south of the city, and it wouldn't take long to arrive. There is only one left to destroy this sealing stone. With his feet on the road, Liu Cheng thought in his mind and planned the development path. The settlement here is almost on track. Everyone in the settlement is working hard to build the city. Most of the preliminary tasks for the city have been completed. If everything goes well, in 2 weeks, other required conditions should be almost in place. Once the city heart is condensed, the city can be built directly. By then, his attributes will skyrocket. In addition, there is also his own side. To increase strength with the greatest efficiency, both upgrading and passive stacking must be taken into consideration. On the premise of ensuring that monsters can be killed instantly, we must upgrade as quickly as possible to maximize efficiency. Liu Cheng's mind was spinning and he kept thinking. His current progress is 1,000 times faster than the same period in his previous life. However, the enemies we face are equally powerful. Not to mention the alien civilizations that have traveled across the stars. Just those world disasters are difficult enough to deal with. In the face of those world disasters, human beings can't even talk about confrontation, but can only minimize losses as much as possible. If you want to survive the world disaster smoothly, he must make good use of this period of development before the deep-sea frenzy. 15 minutes later, Liu Cheng rushed to the gas station and saw a light green light shining from a distance. Boss Liu Cheng. In a corner, someone waved and shouted hello. This is the message I sent you, the settlement sealing stone is over there. Zhao Jun caught up with him in a few steps and pointed in the direction. Behind him, the rest of the team came together. Several people looked happy. As he watched, the group of monsters were about to move the sealing stone away. Fortunately, Mr. Liu Cheng arrived in time. The sealing stone is guarded by a group of 17th level biochemical oil monsters. The warning range does not exceed 200 meters, and their combat effectiveness is unknown. Zhao Jun reported quickly. He was a little embarrassed. His team's combat power was too low and he couldn't test the monster's attributes. It's been done well. Liu Cheng patted him on the shoulder. Then, he drew out the gifted breathing staff. Seeing this, several people in the team were a little excited. It's such a rare opportunity to watch Liu Cheng fight up close. Although before, in the settlement, Liu Cheng had taken action against the light and shadow of the gods. But that time, they were far away and had no idea, so it ended in a daze. But this time, we are actually facing level 17 monsters, which are higher than the monster tide. Tell me, how long will it take for Boss Liu Cheng to defeat these monsters? A mage asked in a lowered voice. I'd say 5 minutes at most. No need, right, 3 minutes should be enough. I bet you 2 minutes. The team members were discussing each other one by one, and everyone couldn't take their eyes away. Seeing it, Liu Cheng came to the sealing stone. Roar. Upon discovering that humans were approaching, the oil monsters roared and stared eagerly. Then, a silver line was seen crossing, and the flames burned and exploded. The flint burned, half of it hitting the oil monster leader, and the other half of it hitting the sealing stone. Bang 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 bang. The next moment, a system prompt sounded. Notice, a settlement's sealing stone was destroyed, and everyone in settlement No 1024 received all attributes +1. Closing square bracket. After witnessing this scene, everyone in the team's eyes widened. Just this little effort and it's all over. No. God Lu, this is too fast. Several people were shocked for a moment. They asked themselves that they already highly regarded Liu Cheng's strength and tried to guess as high as possible. Unexpectedly, I guessed too low. At the same time, in settlement No 1024, a system announcement also sounded at the same time. Good guy, another settlement sealing stone. God Lu is awesome. As fierce as ever. There was a lot of joy in the gathering chat. A little more full attributes were added to make everyone more motivated. But now, their reaction is not as big as before. After all, Liu Cheng took the initiative to solve several crises in succession. They already have a certain understanding of Liu Cheng's strength. I don't know exactly how strong it is, but it must be strong anyway. But, not everyone is like this either. At the edge of the settlement, a large number of people were stunned. This is a team of more than 300 people. Everyone's clothes are a little shabby and they are very embarrassed. Not long after entering the settlement, they heard a system announcement, which made them all stunned. Look, I'm not lying, right? In the crowd, Pastor Sun Shu put his hands on his hips, feeling very proud. With God Lu here, as long as you come to our settlement, you can get attribute points. Everyone looked incredulous. They were all survivors of settlement No 1548, and had just followed the priest to the settlement. As a result, not long after I came in, I caught up with the announcement of the settlement, and everyone's attributes were improved a little. A bald middle-aged man opened his mouth wide. Originally, he didn't believe much in what the priest said. He wanted to follow the large army to save his life, so he came together. Unexpectedly, what the other party said was actually true. His attributes are very low, and a little improvement in all attributes makes him feel a lot more energetic. The same goes for everyone else. They were frightened and very weak. With all these attributes added together, you actually feel refreshed. Who is this God Lu? Someone in the crowd asked in a low voice. God Lu, you are asking the right person. Sun Shu's eyes flashed. God Lu is the big boss in our settlement. Not only is he friendly, but he is also extremely powerful. We have experienced several crises, and it was God Lu who took action and brought us back from what everyone thought was a desperate situation. Said God Lu is the strongest, it's no exaggeration at all. He was so excited that he couldn't help but wave his hands. In our settlement, if you ask anyone you want, no one will object. However, many people in the crowd showed expressions of fear and dodge. Some people even shivered violently when they heard the words, strongest. In addition, some people showed angry expressions and secretly gritted their teeth. What's wrong? Sun Shu noticed something was wrong. Bro, the leading man in this group came forward and explained in a low voice. Before, our settlement suffered a natural selection battle. There was a person in the enemy settlement who had awakened the flawless level talent. He claimed to be the strongest and was very arrogant. We lost the natural selection battle and everyone was hit hard. Quote. So that's it, I understand. Listening to the man's explanation, Sun Shu nodded and became serious. How much information do you remember at that time? Tell me in detail. Then, the communication panel was opened. At the same time. Among the ruins, Liu Cheng crushed the trial rune stone. Destroying the settlement seal stone and killing the guardian beast gave him a total of 54 free attribute points and 140,000 experience points. Next, it's time for the city lord's trial. The anchoring function brought by the city master's authority is quite practical for him. Wow, the trial runestone shattered, bringing out a white light. Ding, you use the city lord trial runestones. The city lord trial is now open. The remaining time is 7 days. Closing square bracket. The location of the soul-destroying monster forces has been marked. Current number of monsters killed, 0.001. Closing square bracket. Current rating, none. Reward, city owner authority, 100 points of free attributes. Closing square bracket. Following the system prompts, a red light lit up to guide the direction. After a quick glance, Liu Cheng poured mana into the long traveling boots. The monster forces won't be too close to the settlement, and it will take some time for him to get there. But even so, 7 days is plenty of time. The reward for the lowest rating is 100 attribute points. Liu Cheng glanced over and nodded with satisfaction. As the rating increases, the difficulty of the trial will continue to increase. But correspondingly, the rewards from the City Lord trial will become more and more generous. If it reaches the highest rating, it is estimated to have 300 or even 400 attribute points. It is estimated that for the highest rating, this monster force needs to be completely destroyed. Liu Cheng assessed in his mind. In the monster force, there are monsters with more than 2 levels. However, with his current combat power, it won't be a problem. He has decided on this highest rating. At this time, the settlement communication sounded a prompt. God Liu, I have inquired clearly. The leader of the settlement in Lighthouse Country is called Richard. His awakened talent is flawless level, called demonic form. He is very powerful and he killed all the bosses in the monster wave by himself. It was Sun Shu who sent the message to report the situation. Glancing at the news, Liu Cheng was slightly surprised. It's not because this man killed the monster wave boss alone. In fact, with the wave of monsters in the early stages of the disaster, it was difficult for people with average talent to make a difference. Most of the surviving settlements rely on people who have awakened high-level talents to develop unparalleled skills. What surprised him was this person's name. Talents above the flawless level are unique. There are many people named Richard in the Lighthouse Kingdom, but among them, there can only be one who has awakened the demon form talent. Liu Cheng raised his eyes. He was quite impressed by Richard. First, because the real-time combat power brought by this person's talent is extremely powerful. In the early stages of the disaster, he could definitely be ranked among the top 100 in the world. However, this is not the main factor. The main factor is that when the disaster of faith breaks out, a god descends in Richard's demonic body as a container. That was also the first god to come in the disaster of faith, a full month earlier than the other gods. This person was in settlement number 85 at the beginning of the disaster. Liu Cheng's mind was spinning. In his memory, when Richard showed off his talents, he belonged to settlement number 12. It was the settlement with the highest number in the Lighthouse Country and believed in the devil god. Unexpectedly, he would appear in settlement number 85 now. Thinking of Richard's behavior, Liu Cheng pondered. By believing in the means brought by the demon god, this person can lock down the settlement that he has fought against. In his previous life, what this person was most used to was to lock in a defeated settlement and constantly launch natural selection on it. For a settlement that lost to natural selection, everyone's attributes were reduced. Naturally, it would be more difficult to win if they faced off again. Many settlements were destroyed in this way. If he has mastered that method, I guess there may be a natural selection showdown in the future. Liu Cheng thought to himself. Currently, Settlement 1024 is receiving survivors from Settlement 1548. These survivors will also be locked, and the other party can use this to find settlement number 1024. However, Liu Cheng didn't care. With his current fighting power, he is not afraid of any duel due to natural selection. Moreover, if the other party really initiates a natural selection duel, they can take this opportunity to get rid of a divine container. Shaking his head, Liu Cheng stopped thinking about it and continued to speed up. At this rate, he would be able to reach the Dementor's territory in less than an hour. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, more than half an hour passed. In the settlement, the survivors of Settlement No 1548 all looked happy. Settlement No 1024 is simply great, much better than their previous settlement. There is an exchange function. With just 2 origin stone fragments, they can exchange for a day's worth of food and water, so they don't have to worry about survival at all. The survivors couldn't help but feel the joy of surviving the disaster. If you stay in this settlement, if nothing else, at least you will be safe and well fed. But at this moment, a system notification suddenly sounded. Notice: Settlement number 85 has launched a natural selection battle against your settlement. Closing square bracket. Listening to this system prompt, each survivor was stunned, and then panic appeared on their faces. At the same time, in the wilderness, Liu Cheng looked cold. As this coming, system announcements echoed, announcing the rules of natural selection. During the natural selection arena, kill monsters to get combat points, the amount of which is the same as the monster level. Closing square bracket. The first person to reach 30,000 gladiatorial points will win the battle. Closing square bracket. Winner, all attributes of the entire settlement will be increased by 10 points. Loser, all attributes of the entire settlement will be deducted by 10 points. Closing square bracket. Countdown to the start of the battle, 100 seconds. The rules of natural selection are different from those of natural selection duel. The direction of confrontation has changed from level to the number of monsters killed. However, rewards and punishments are similar. In addition to all attributes, the winner can also choose an item to plunder. It came quickly. Listening to the system prompts, a cold light flashed in Liu Cheng's eyes. Then, mana was injected into the long traveling boots and he hurried on. He was still less than 20 minutes away from the Dementor's sphere of influence. To reach 30,000 gladiatorial points, you need to kill 1,500 level 20 monsters. However, if they were replaced by monsters from the monster force, the number would be smaller. Among the Dementor monsters, the lowest level monsters are level 25. At the same time, Settlement No. 1024. The moment the announcement sounded, everyone was stunned. Immediately, everyone looked solemn and prepared. After experiencing a natural selection duel, they adapted quickly. The natural selection battle. The rules are different from the natural selection duel. The outcome is determined based on the number of battle points. Contact Mr. Liu Cheng and ask if there is any place where we can get help. Yes, if you need to lure monsters, I can organize people to go there now. In the community chat, everyone spoke one after another. Under this rule, they have little effect in killing monsters. This point requirement is not something they can achieve. They might as well team up and provide support to Liu Cheng. Everyone discussed quickly and quickly decided on a strategy. It can be compared to the original crew of settlement number 1024. The condition of the hundreds of survivors who are new to the settlement is much worse. The system notification sounded, instantly causing a panic among them. This is a battle of natural selection. Here we go again. A priest murmured, fear quickly filling his eyes. Not long after he entered the settlement, he had just had a full meal. As a result, less than an hour later, the announcement of the natural selection competition came again. The pastor couldn't stop trembling and couldn't stand still. Why is it us again? The initiator is the settlement in the lighthouse country again. Woo, I don't want to die. I only have 17 attributes left. I can't survive this time. Not only the priest, but also the more than 300 survivors were in panic at this moment. The last natural selection battle they encountered was less than a day ago. Last time, many people had all their attributes deducted and died directly. These people, who were at a higher level or had attribute bonuses in their talents, were able to barely survive. But now, the second natural selection battle has arrived. These beasts are determined to drive people to death. The leading middle-aged man's eyes were red. They finally got some hope. Being brought to this settlement and provided with food and water helped them relax a bit. As a result, this hope is about to be dashed. The middle-aged man clenched his fists until his joints turned white. It's not that bad. God Lu is very powerful. Next to him, Sun Shu saw that something was wrong with him and comforted him. Thanks. The middle-aged man breathed a sigh of relief. But remembering the last natural selection battle, his eyes became a little dim again. That Richard is too powerful, and the gap is so huge that it makes people desperate. The number of fighting points he gained alone was enough to crush their entire settlement. And right now, the system notification flashed again. Notice, during the natural selection competition, the communication channels of both parties are connected, and the competition points list is open. Closing square bracket. Along with this tip, 2 light curtains appeared, showing the ranking of fighting points. At the same time, there is an additional page in everyone's communication panel. That is the chat channel of the Lighthouse Country Settlement. Ladies and gentlemen, rejoice. The battle of natural selection has come again. Praise God. What God? Now you should praise the Devil God and Lord Richard. How about making a guess? How long will it take Sir Richard to complete the gladiatorial battle this time? I guess, an hour at most. It only took 2 hours last time, and now that he has been blessed by the demon god, Sir Richard must be stronger. During the chat in Lighthouse Country, there was complete joy. Richard's strength was obvious to all. Everyone regarded the victory in the gladiatorial battle as something in their pocket and started celebrating in advance. At the same time, in the wilderness, Richard held a drop of demon blood and looked around. Around him, thousands of demon boy monsters gathered, each one of them red in color and terrifying in appearance. But at this time, these demon boys were trembling and did not dare to attack him. The things given by the demon god are really useful. Richard was very satisfied. With the blood of demons in their hands, these demon children not only dare not resist, but also keep gathering around. It was completely an experience that he could harvest. After harvesting most of the demon children, my demon promotion mission will be completed. When the time comes, I will be able to transform into a pure blood demon. Richard was filled with excitement. By then, his combat power will have another huge leap forward. But he didn't take action immediately. Instead, wait patiently for the countdown. He specially gathered so many demon boys and monsters just to win the gladiatorial fight as soon as possible. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. The countdown is over and the natural selection battle begins. Closing square bracket. Here we go. A glint flashed in Richard's eyes. Then, mana surged in his hand, and spells poured out. All his spells were covered in a layer of black flame, and their power increased countless times. This is the effect brought about by the demonic form. Every spell cast can instantly kill a large number of demon children. Richard kept taking action. Each demon boy did not dare to resist and was directly killed. For a time, his points rose rapidly. And in settlement chat. Ha ha ha, Lord Richard is so strong. It's only been less than a minute and it's already 700 points. This settlement number, 1024. The first place only has 16 points. This is too weak. I hope my opponent can get more points this time. Last time, I only had more than 500 points, which was not challenging at all. I'm afraid it won't work. According to the information revealed by Lord Richard's assistant, the opponents selected this time are the losers from the last batch. It's them. That's really unfortunate. However, it's a blessing to be our stepping stone. Ha ha ha. Looking at the combat points list, the people in settlement number 85 were excited. To their surprise, Richard firmly occupied the first place. And on the other side, as the time goes, in settlement node 1024, everyone couldn't help but feel worried. It's not that I have no confidence in Liu Cheng. However, the opponent's points jumped up too fast. 10 minutes passed. On their side, Li Tianyu ranked first in points, with only over 100 points. On the opposite side, Richard has more than 9,500 fighting points, which is almost 10,000. If this continues, the winner of this natural selection battle will be decided in less than half an hour. God Liu, can he make it in time? Some people are worried. However, it wasn't to the point of panic. In the last duel of natural selection, Liu Cheng also used his late-stage efforts to make the final decision. In their hearts, they are still a little unsure. But for the hundreds of survivors who had just arrived in the settlement, this was not the case. At this time, many people turned pale and fell to the ground. The last natural selection battle was defeated, and many people died in front of them, which brought too great a shadow to them. It's over, it's over. A thin young man had a bitter look on his face and his eyes were fixed on the ranking list. Not only him, many people are staring at the rankings and paying close attention. As time passes bit by bit, everyone was sweating and worried. 15 minutes passed, and Richard's fighting points were already 16,000. But Liu Cheng's fighting points have not been moved, and they are still 0 points. Could it be that God Liu can't escape and will lose this natural selection? Among the crowd, Sun Shu panicked. For an old man like him from the No 1024 settlement, it is not a big problem if natural selection is really going to lose this day. After several consecutive feedbacks, everyone has sufficient attribute points, and it is not a stretch. But the new batch of people he brought in were different. This group of people had lost a natural selection, and they didn't have many attributes left. If we deduct another 50 points, I'm afraid the whole army will be wiped out. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but feel anxious. And at the same time, Liu Cheng stopped in front of a valley shrouded in pale red light. In his ear, a system prompt sounded. Ding, you have stepped into the sphere of influence of the Dementor monster. Closing square bracket. The sphere of influence of the Dementors is this valley. Outside the valley, sporadic Dementors can be seen appearing, their bodies are dark red, and their shapes resemble apes. Liu Cheng glanced around, and then looked at the wrestling points list. Duration of natural selection battle, 15 minutes and 39 seconds. Closing square bracket. First place in settlement number 85, Richard, with 16,140 fighting points. Closing square bracket. First place in settlement number 1024, Li Tianyu, with 175 fighting points. Closing square bracket. Turning off the light curtain, Liu Cheng looked forward. At the end of 15 minutes, he was 16,000 points behind. However, this gap is not exaggerated. Dementors are level 26 monsters and can only provide 26 gladiatorial points each time. Next, it's time to overtake. With a thought in Liu Cheng's mind, he activated the blinding shadow. Brush. The mana flowed into the blinding ribbon, and his body gradually became transparent, blending into the surrounding environment. These mobs on the periphery are too scattered and are not his target. Monsters and monster forces often have large gathering places. There will be hundreds, thousands of monsters gathered in one place. Maintaining the passivity of the long traveling boots will make the efficiency even higher. Bypassing the scattered mobs, Liu Cheng headed towards the valley. As he goes deeper, the number of Dementors gradually increased. Liu Cheng endured his temper and moved on. Finally, after bypassing the huge rocks, a clear vision suddenly opened up. In front of him was a large open space where large numbers of Dementors gathered. At a glance, there are at least several hundred of them. That's it. With a thought in Liu Cheng's mind, the gifted breathing staff appeared in his hand. The next moment, silver light flashed across, and a fireball condensed. Boom! Fireballs exploded among the monsters, and the flames soared. A large number of Dementors had no time to react and were directly killed. Suddenly, the system prompts kept ringing. Ding! You killed the Dementor, level 26, gained experience value plus 4,831, origin energy upper limit plus 0.3. Closing square bracket. You got combat points plus 26. Closing square bracket. Ding! You killed the Dementor, level 26, and gained plus 4,831 experience points. Ding! You killed 25 Dementors, level 26, gained experience points plus 120775, origin energy upper limit plus 7.5. Closing square bracket. You got plus 650 gladiatorial points. Closing square bracket. Number of kills in trial mission, 27 1,000ths. Now, Liu Cheng can do more than 30,000 damage with one fireball. What grows next is the explosion effect of the fireball. Now, the explosion radius of the fireball technique has reached 20 meters. One fireball went down and killed nearly 30 Dementors. Just at this moment, his fighting points increased by more than 700 points, directly rising to the first place in the settlement. Ho! Ho! A series of roars sounded, and a large group of Dementors roared wildly around him and rushed towards him. Welcome! Liu Cheng's staff was raised. These monsters take the initiative to attack, playing right into his hands. And at the same time, in Settlement No 1024, everyone was suddenly pleasantly surprised. Many people are paying close attention to the rankings and are the first to find out that the number 1 spot has changed hands. Look, the ranking has changed. It's Boss Liu Cheng. Now he has 700 points and is ranked first. Great, Boss Liu Cheng finally takes action. Seeing Liu Cheng take action, everyone felt relieved. Although now, Liu Cheng's fighting points are only 700 points, which is still far from Richard's 16,000 points. However, seeing Liu Cheng take action, they felt relieved for a while. Scared me to death. Sun Shu wiped his sweat, as if a big stone hanging in his heart fell to the ground, and he relaxed. And on the other side, in the chat at the Lighthouse Country Settlement, the reaction was completely different. The ranking in Daxia has changed. There is a person named Liu Cheng, who suddenly ranked first. Oh, is this their hidden master? Let's see. Haha, you are very humorous. With only 700 points, can you still be considered a master? Everyone in the lighthouse country laughed. For ordinary people, being able to score 700 points is considered great. But if compared with Richard, it is a bit pitiful. Wait a minute, the previous world announcement seemed to be from Daxia named Liu Chang. Could it be him? Someone suddenly remembered and asked questions. That's right, in that announcement, he had successfully transferred to another class. His level should not be low. Madam, I must remind you that level is not the only factor that determines strength. Think about it, when Sir Richard was at level 9, wouldn't he be able to resist the tide of monsters on his own? He hadn't changed jobs at that time. This can be seen from the rankings. Regardless of whether he is Liu Chang from the world announcement, his fighting points are far behind Sir Richard. That's right, only Lord Richard can bring us glory and victory. There was cheering in the number 85 settlement. And in the wilderness. Richard frowned. While he was killing the demon boy, he was also keeping an eye on the rankings. Originally, there were no characters in Daxia. The one ranked first only has more than 100 points, so he doesn't pose a threat. But suddenly, a new name appeared, and the fighting points suddenly soared to more than 700, occupying the first place. This made him feel defensive. Although now, the point gap between the two is still very large. But the opponent's speed is a bit too fast. He could only get 100 or dozens of points by killing a dozen demon children with one spell. How is it possible to get 700 points all at once? Could it be that there was a delay in counting the points of the Daxia people? Richard frowned and thought. The next moment, in the light curtain, the point display changed again. First place in settlement number 1024, Liu Chang, with 1274 fighting points. Closing square bracket. This time, Liu Chang's points increased directly to nearly 1,300 points. What? Richard's eyes widened when he saw the numbers on the light screen. In the blink of an eye, the opponent's points increased by more than 500. Suddenly, a sense of urgency surged in his heart. If we keep going at this speed, it is really possible for him to catch up or even overtake him. Richard's anger surged and he suddenly raised his hands, devil form. The next moment, wisps of black flames emerged from his body. In the blink of an eye, his body grew nearly half a meter taller, and his whole body was wrapped in black flames, making him look like a demon. This is the active effect of his flawless level talent, demon form. When transforming into demon form, all of his skills can gain damage and killing range increases. These big summer bugs are determined to disrupt my plan. Richard gritted his teeth. Although this active skill is powerful, it only lasts 5 minutes. As for the cooling time, it is 1 day. He was originally prepared to keep it to deal with the devil's promotion mission. But now, it must be used in advance. If you don't activate the demon form, you may not be able to win this natural selection battle. When the time comes, natural selection will be defeated and 50 points of attributes will be deducted from him, and he will not be able to meet the conditions for promotion to a pure blood demon. I have recorded this account. When I am promoted to Demon Lord, all of you will die. Richard's eyes flashed fiercely, and a skill blasted out. The black flames exploded like poison, burning and killing more than a dozen demon children in an instant. Suddenly, his fighting points surged. But after glancing at the rankings again, Richard's expression suddenly changed. I saw that in the ranking list, Liu Chang's points increased sharply again. This time, it directly reached 1742 points. How can this be? Richard's eyes were full of disbelief. It only takes a few seconds. This man's fighting points have increased by more than 500. This speed difference is too big. Even in demon form, his lethality has limits. Being able to kill a dozen demon children in a few seconds is already pretty good. The number of combat points that can be obtained is only a little over 100. If this gap is maintained, even if he has a demon form, he will not be able to avoid the fate of being overtaken. Fortunately, he can't keep up this speed forever. Richard's thoughts changed quickly and he sneered. The reason why he can obtain points efficiently. It's because he took out the devil's blood in advance half an hour before initiating natural selection. This attracted so many demon boys for him to hunt and kill. But that Daxia person is different. He was the one who was initiated into natural selection, so it was impossible to find so many high-level monsters in advance. Thinking of this, Richard breathed a sigh of relief and threw out the black flames in his hand. And on the other side. In the valley, Liu Cheng kept throwing fireballs, very leisurely. This group of soul-eating monsters were not afraid of death and charged at him like crazy, which saved him a lot of effort. He doesn't even have to move his feet, he just needs to throw the fireball. The fireballs exploded violently, sending a large number of dementors flying away, and none of them could get close to him. His experience and combat points also skyrocketed. Ding, you got combat points plus 676. Closing square bracket. Ding, you got plus 624 gladiatorial points. Closing square bracket. Ding, you got combat points plus 702. Soon, a system prompt rang in Liu Cheng's ears. Ding, you have reached level 18 and gained all attributes plus 3 and free attribute points plus 25. Closing square bracket. A flash of white light flashed, and his state returned to full strength. Comfortable. Liu Cheng is in a good mood. The monsters in the monster force are not only rich in experience, but also dense in number. If the two are combined, the experience growth will be very gratifying. If he follows this trend and clears out these dementors, he will be able to reach level 19 and still have a lot of experience left. City Lord Trial, Natural Selection Competition, plus upgrades. Completely correct, At the same time, in the settlement. On the ranking list, Liu Cheng's points soared, causing an uproar immediately. Brothers, look at the rankings. God Liu points are skyrocketing. This speed is so fast. Last time I saw it was more than 4,000, but now it's almost 6,000. At this speed, it will only take a few minutes to catch up with that Richard. Everyone in Settlement No 1024 was overjoyed. Originally, they were all still nervous. After all, the speed at which Richard gained points was terrifying. But as Liu Cheng took action, the situation was reversed in an instant. In just a few minutes, Liu Cheng's points soared from 0 to 6 or 7,000, and the momentum is still rising rapidly. At this moment, everyone felt like they were waking up from a dream. It turns out that the truly terrifying thing is God Liu. What the hell was I thinking just now? Sun Shu secretly gave himself a slap in the face behind someone's back. Then, he returned to the crowd, smiled and put his arms around the middle-aged man's shoulders. How about it, am I right? You can always trust God Liu. The middle-aged man said nothing. At this moment, his entire body was tense and he was staring blankly at the ranking list. After a while, he finally regained his composure and uttered two words, revenge. Not only him, but more than 300 survivors of Settlement No 1548 are also staring at the rankings. Many people's eyes were red and tears were shining in their eyes. Many of them have lost relatives, friends and companions. Some have insufficient attributes and are buried by natural selection. Some had their attributes deducted too low and could not be transferred, so they died in the tide of monsters. For them, winning this natural selection is not only an attribute reward, but also revenge. Among the crowd, a half-grown boy pursed his lips tightly. When natural selection came, he was only at level 2, and his attributes were simply not good enough. It was his father who used the attribute transfer talent to transfer all attributes to him, which allowed him to escape. If he can help my father avenge, my life will belong to him. The young man clenched his fists tightly, his nails digging into his flesh. And on the other side. The scene in Settlement Number 85 is completely opposite. Fake, what's going on? That Daxia guy, why did his points increase so fast? Impossible, how can he be faster than Lord Richard? He is cheating. Great Demon God, please send down divine punishment to punish the cheater. Where is Sir Richard? Think of a way. There was chaos in the settlement chat. On the ranking list, Liu Cheng's points rose so fast that they all panicked. Moreover, the momentum is getting stronger and stronger, and the points are about to exceed 10,000. If we continue like this, catching up with Richard will only take a few minutes. For a time, panic spread in Settlement Number 85, and outside the settlement. In the wilderness, Richard's face was ashen. He continued to cast spells and quickly killed a demon boy. But it didn't work, although his points increased rapidly. But on Daxia's ranking list, Liu Cheng's points rose faster than him. The gap between the two of them narrowed visibly to the naked eye. Richard gritted his teeth. The point increase for the Daxia guy opposite was so exaggerated. When he clearly had 16,000 points, the opponent only had 700 points. As a result, as soon as his points reached 19,000, the opponent's points increased to 7,000. As of now, his points have not reached 21,000. On the opposite side, Liu Cheng already has 14,000 fighting points and is about to catch up with him. Richard's face became increasingly ugly. Although now, he is still a little ahead. However, around him, there were not many demon boys left. The more than 2,000 demon boy monsters he had previously attracted with the blood of demons were about to be killed by him. After killing all these demon children, he will go find the monsters himself. It is conceivable that the efficiency of obtaining points will plummet by then. Being overtaken by Liu Cheng is almost inevitable. Why can he find so many monsters? Richard was completely furious. At this time, he felt extremely regretful. If it weren't for the promotion mission of driving away demons, he can definitely attract more demon children. How can it be like now, even the last chance is gone? Richard roared crazily and flicked the black flames in his hands. For a moment, black fire flew randomly in the wilderness, creating a scene of purgatory. After a long time, he finally finished venting his emotions, breathing heavily. Then, look at the rankings. First place in settlement number 1024, Liu Cheng, with 25,195 fighting points. Closing square bracket. First place in settlement number 85, Richard, with 22,370 fighting points. Closing square bracket. In the light curtain, the rankings of the two people have suddenly been reversed. After glancing at the screen, Richard gradually calmed down and sneered. The next moment, he suddenly took the demon's blood into his mouth. Then, he fell to his knees with a plop. Great demon god, I want to perform a demon sacrifice. Boom. In the wilderness, everything around them is fading, and black flames are burning in the sky. A little devil emerged from the black flames. It had two sharp horns on its head and a hooked red tail, but it was wearing a priest's robe, which looked particularly inconsistent. However, Richard looked happy. He knows this little devil, he is the messenger of the devil god. The few times he made sacrifices before, he always contacted the gods through this little devil. What do you need? In midair, the little devil looked down. Master Divine Envoy, I would like to ask the gods to send down a heavenly punishment to kill this man named Liu Cheng in Daxia settlement. What price will it cost? Richard asked quickly while lying on the ground. Now, seeing that Liu Cheng's points were approaching 26,000, he couldn't catch up no matter what. The best way is to ask the gods to take action and kill the opponent directly. Richard was quite sure of this. The reason is that he has won 2 natural selection battles before. After one of the natural selections, the demon god lowered his projection and made all the opposing settlements become believers. For this, he was rewarded with a drop of demon blood. Asking the demon god to kill Liu Cheng totally works. In this way, he can still win this natural selection battle. Thinking in his mind, Richard couldn't help but feel proud. But the next moment, impossible, the little devil's voice sounded. Why? Richard was stunned. How can a noble god show up so often? It's impossible to do such a thing for you. God can't show up often. Before that, after listening to the little devil's words, Richard's expression changed. Are you questioning the gods? The little devil looked contemptuously. No, absolutely not. Richard suddenly trembled and fell to the ground. However, he couldn't accept it in his heart. If the gods don't take action, then all his plans will fail. Glancing at his attributes, Richard's face was filled with gloom. Demon promotion tasks have attribute requirements. Among them, the physical attribute has the highest requirements, requiring a full 300 points. Now, his physical attribute is 296 points. Through this battle of natural selection, he could have steadily met the requirements. But now, after losing this natural selection, he will have 10 points of all attributes deducted. By then, his attributes will no longer be enough. Lord Envoy of God, I want to change the content of the sacrifice. Thinking of this, Richard spoke slowly. I want to improve my physical attributes through sacrifice. With your level, you can only get a maximum of 20 attribute points through sacrifice. The little devil glanced over. 20 points is enough. Lord God Envoy, what price do I need to pay? Richard suddenly beamed. In this way, he can still catch up with the Devil's promotion mission. There are 3 kinds of sacrifices, you can choose any one. 1. Pay 30 points for other attributes. 2. Pay the experience of the same level, plus the upper limit of 1000 health points. 3rd, select 200 people from your settlement and sacrifice their lives. The little devil held out 3 fingers. I choose 3. Richard was overjoyed and made his choice immediately. This option is equivalent to him offering nothing. At the same time, ding, you have reached level 19 and gained all attributes plus 3, free attribute points plus 25, and skill points plus 1. Closing square bracket. In the valley, white light flashed across Liu Cheng's body. In just this moment, he rose to another level. After all, the Dementor is a level 26 monster. If you kill it at a higher level, you will get a rich experience bonus. In addition, the settlement hub has been upgraded twice and can also provide a 20% experience bonus. Added up, it's quite impressive. Good, Liu Cheng smiled. Then, he glanced at the panel. Trial content. Kill the monsters in the Dementor's forces. Current number of monsters killed, 996 1,000ths. Closing square bracket. At this time, his trial mission was almost completed. Liu Cheng raised his staff and fired a fireball. Boom. The flames roared, blasting away a group of soul-catching monsters, followed by a series of system prompts. Ding, you killed 7 Dementors, level 26 gained experience points plus 28,574, origin energy limit plus 2.1. Closing square bracket. Ding, the number of monsters killed reaches the requirement, the current trial is passed, and the rating is upgraded to low grade. Closing square bracket. The content of the trial has changed. You can choose to end the trial, receive rewards, or continue the trial. Closing square bracket. As the system prompts, in the light curtain, the content of the trial mission began to change. Current trial. Kill the leader of the Dementor forces, the Dementor wizard. Closing square bracket. Completion reward. City owner authority, 200 points of free attributes. Closing square bracket. Oh, glancing at the screen, Liu Cheng was slightly surprised. The difficulty span of this trial mission is a bit large. Among the monster forces, the strongest is the leader, and the weakest is equivalent to the Azure Bronze level boss. As a result, with a low-grade rating, the boss needs to be killed. If you want to advance to the upper level, or even apex level, the difficulty will be even higher. This made Liu Cheng look forward to it. The higher the difficulty, the higher the reward. Thinking in his mind, Liu Cheng glanced around. Now, the natural selection battle is not over yet, and he is still short of the final 3,000 points. Inside the valley, Dementors kept appearing and rushing towards him. These Dementors are enough for him to collect enough points. Liu Cheng waved his staff and blasted out a fireball. Boom! The fireball exploded in the distance, blasting away a large number of Dementors. Ding! You killed 11 Dementors, level 26 gained experience points plus 44,902, and the origin energy limit plus 3.3. Closing square bracket. You got fighting points plus 286. Closing square bracket. Ding! You killed 9 Dementors. Suddenly, a series of system prompts sounded. Liu Cheng kept on using his skills one after another. His fighting points are also rising rapidly. 27,000 points, 28,000 points, 29,000 points. At the same time, in Settlement No. 1024, everyone was excited. On the ranking light screen, Liu Cheng's fighting points continued to increase, which made them excited. This is even more true for the more than 300 survivors from Settlement Number 1548. As the points get closer and closer to victory, their response is also growing. Many people were so excited that their bodies were shaking. Liu Cheng. More people are chanting silently in their hearts and remembering this name firmly. For them, the significance of this natural selection is too great. 29,855 points. With God Lu's speed, we are just one step away. In the community chat, some people were very excited. Next moment, snapped. A clear cracking sound sounded, and the light curtain shattered like glass, and then quickly dissipated. At the same time, a system announcement rang in everyone's mind. Announcement. Challenger Liu Cheng's competition points reached 30,000, and Settlement Note 1024 won this natural selection competition. Closing square bracket. Natural selection wins, and everyone in Settlement Note 1024 will be rewarded with 10 points of all attributes. Closing square bracket. Natural selection is defeated, everyone in Settlement Number 85 will have 10 points of all attributes deducted. Closing square bracket. Along with this system prompt, white lights surged up and fell on everyone. Suddenly, their attribute points skyrocketed. 1. Another 10 points of all attributes. God, Liu is awesome. Opposite, how does it feel to hit the iron plate? Ha ha ha. Huge cheers erupted in Settlement Number 1024. The more than 300 survivors were all stunned. Although the ranking light curtain has been broken. However, many people were still looking straight in that direction. It took a long time before anyone calmed down. Really won. A man muttered to himself, his eyes red. At this moment, he felt a sense of relief. Liu Cheng's victory over natural selection is equivalent to avenging him. He knew it very well. Pointing to his own ability, if he wants to take revenge, he will have no chance in the next life. This kind of kindness can never be fully repaid in a lifetime. The man lowered his head and clenched his fist several times. He's not the only one. Beside him, many survivors were also silently calculating. To them, the significance of this natural selection is more important than the 10 points of all attributes. And on the other side, in Settlement Number 85, there was a cry of mourning. There was a flash of red light, like a curse, wrapping around everyone. Caught in this red light, their attribute points dropped rapidly. In the blink of an eye, 50 attribute points were deducted. Suddenly, the settlement was in chaos. When they had the advantage before, they were still enjoying themselves, but then they were overturned, and they all turned against each other all of a sudden. Whoa Defa, what is going on? How could we lose? I don't accept it. We are the most powerful country in the world, how could we lose to a group of Daxia people? Did Sir Richard encounter any trouble? Why are those Daxia people celebrating? Fake. This attribute point should be mine. In the community chat, it was a complete state of frying. One complaint after another flooded the screen like crazy. In fact, when it comes to their situation, they may not be that bad. I have received 2 rewards before, and none of their attributes are low. At least no one died due to attribute deduction. However, many people cannot accept having their attributes deducted. I have a guess. I think there may be some conspiracy here. I have been watching. Starting from 5 minutes ago, Richard's points have not increased much. That's how it was that Liu Cheng from Daxia go ahead. A white man analyzed in a low voice and quickly received a lot of attention. After all, the point ranking is always public, and many people have seen this scene. Richard's points have indeed not increased for a long time. However, no one spoke up for a while. Even as soon as the news came out, the chat in the community stopped for a moment. Many people who were originally angry could not help but hesitate. After all, Richard's strength is there. Even if they were dissatisfied, they would not dare to accuse Richard. Fake, why didn't you say anything? He violated my attribute rights. My 50 attribute points were deducted because of Richard. That's right, Richard is equal to us in terms of human rights, and he should compensate us. During the group chat, someone got emotional and began to accuse. The result, the next moment. Bang! Black flames suddenly appeared on these 2 people. The flames burned and instantly ignited their clothes. Suddenly, everyone's expressions changed, and they dispersed, staying away from these 2 people. On the other side, the white man who made the guess earlier also burned with black flames. Fark! The 3 of them were frightened and flapped repeatedly, trying to extinguish the flames, but they couldn't. The black flames burned them and turned them into burning men in the blink of an eye. Ah, help, help me, I was wrong, I shouldn't slander Lord Richard. Please forgive me. Please, help me, I'm dying. The 3 people were burned and rolling on the ground, wailing and begging for mercy. But it didn't work. Although there were many people around the 3 of them, no one had any intention of coming to help. They all knew the meaning of this black flame very well. This flame represents the demon god. Everyone stood at a distance and watched with cold eyes. Black flames crackled and exploded, and the 3 people quickly became silent in the firelight. At the same time, In the wilderness, Richard looked gloomy and put down his fingers. In the end, we lost. Richard's face turned livid. Although, he already knew the result. But when the natural selection reminder actually sounded, it still made him furious. Especially when the red light falls and his attributes are deducted. He felt an inexplicable feeling of shame and anger in his heart. In the previous 2 natural selection games, he had won by overwhelming advantage. As a result, this time, I clearly chose the previous loser on purpose, and actually lost. Richard looked ferocious and poked with his fingers. In front of him was a light curtain, marked with a personal name. He is selecting sacrifices to be offered to the demon god. Every time he selected someone, his brows would relax. Taking this opportunity, he could just get rid of some people who were not so convinced of him. This is how the 3 people who were talking about him died. Everyone will think that it was done by the demon god, and his prestige will not be damaged. Finally, the selection of 200 people was completed. The sacrifice is completed. In midair, the little devil's voice was cold. It opened its palm and cast a small cloud of black mist. Then, black flames burned up, disappearing its figure. Thank you, Lord God Envoy. Richard hurried forward, held the black mist in his hands, and swallowed it directly. The next moment, black flames flickered on his body, and his attributes began to increase. Ha, it's okay. After digesting the black mist, Richard let out a sigh of relief. This black mist provided him with 20 points of physical strength. In this way, even though he lost to natural selection, he still has enough physical fitness to reach 300 points. For him, although losing natural selection was a big blow, it was far from breaking his bones. His real promotion is here in the Demon Promotion mission. Once you enter the Demon Exile, you can complete the promotion mission and transform into a pure-blooded demon. By then, his combat power will at least increase several times. Richard's eyes slowly scanned the surroundings. Around him, there were corpses of demon children everywhere. Among these corpses, a little bit of red light separated out and condensed into an altar. On the altar, a blank scroll is gradually taking shape. Look at the blank scroll. Richard couldn't help but feel excited. This is also the reason why he chose to launch natural selection at this time. His demon promotion mission requires killing a sufficient number of demonic creatures at a specific time to summon a demon altar. However, his target is the blank scroll on the altar. Drop the devil's blood on the exile scroll, and after the painting is completed, you will be eligible to go to the secret realm, where the devil is exiled. Thinking back to the oracle of the demon god, Richard's breath hitched. Now, he is only one step away from a pure-blooded devil. When he becomes a pure-blooded demon, it will be easy to tear that Liu Cheng apart. In the wilderness, thunder exploded, and the sky and earth were darkened. Richard seemed unaware, staring closely at the altar. Finally, with a soft, swift sound, the scroll solidified and landed on the altar. Richard stepped forward, carefully took out the demon's blood, and dripped it into the painting. In an instant, the scroll was filled with blood. The demon's blood fell into the scroll, flowing continuously and drawing strange patterns. The next step is to wait, Richard said silently in his heart. When the fusion is completed, with the qualifications brought by his demon form, he can directly enter the demon exile. And on the other side, in the valley, Liu Cheng is also waiting. The winner of the natural selection contest can also take away an item. After clearing away the surrounding monsters, Liu Cheng started to check. In front of him, a curtain of light spread out, and within it was the scene of the settlement of the lighthouse country. Even the wilderness where Richard was included. At this time, Liu Cheng's eyes were focused on this place. Demon Wilderness. That's it. After a quick glance, Liu Cheng understood. No wonder Richard was promoted to a pure-blooded demon so early in his previous life. It seems that he is quite lucky. Around his settlement, there is a demonic wilderness, in which a large number of demonic creatures will descend. In this way, in the early stages of the disaster, he would have the opportunity to trigger the demon promotion mission. But, all these lucks eventually fell to the demon god. When the disaster of faith broke out, Richard immediately became a vessel. Shaking his head slightly, Liu Cheng looked at the scroll. The disaster of faith is still 7 years away. Right now, that's what he wants to focus on. Exile scroll. Glancing at the altar, Liu Cheng's heart moved. He recognized this picture. This is one of the 2 materials to unlock the Devil's secret realm. Another material is the Devil's key in his storage space. Thinking of this, Liu Cheng couldn't help but look forward to it. The entrance to the abyss is deep in the demon exile. However, he did not take action immediately. At this time, a drop of blood was flowing on the scroll, drawing most of the skull. Watch the demon's blood flow. Liu Cheng narrowed his eyes slightly. This thing is the main material for transforming demon blood. Although he doesn't need to convert to demon blood. But in terms of value alone, demon's blood is better than the exile scroll. After all, the exile scroll only has the function of opening the secret realm. The blood of demons has many uses. Enhanced equipment and weapons can be used. After reaching a certain level, you can even directly extract the energy from the demon's blood. And 80% of this demon blood comes from the demon god. As you can imagine, the quality will not be low. Although not as important as the exile scroll. But if you can get it, it's a pretty good harvest. Liu Cheng's mind was spinning. According to the rules of the natural selection contest, he could only choose one of the demon's blood and the scroll of exile. However, once the demon blood is drawn and completely transformed into a skull pattern, it will only count as one item. Remaining selection time, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I glanced at the countdown. Liu Cheng looked at the light curtain. In the light curtain, most of the skull has been drawn. 2.5 minutes is enough time to finish. Liu Cheng had a lot of free time and waited patiently. And on the other side, Lighthouse Country, in the demonic wilderness. Richard was less patient. His eyes were fixed on the scroll with great urgency. As the skull pattern became more complete, his breathing became heavier and heavier. Settlement number 1024, Liu Cheng, right, was it you who triggered the world announcement? I remember you. Richard sneered. Sir, when I am successfully promoted, I will come and deal with you right away. In his mind, the future scenes have been planned out. Transformed into a pure-blooded demon, his combat power can increase several times. After that, you can continuously launch natural selection towards settlement number 1024. There is the power of the demon god. Even if you use ordinary natural selection props, you can still lock the target. By then, I'm afraid you will kneel down and beg me to stop. The more Richard thought about it, the more excited he became, and his body began to tremble. And in front of him, there is a rich red light on the altar, and the skull has already taken shape. Richard became more and more anxious, refusing to blink, staring at the picture with burning eyes. Under his gaze, that drop of demon blood flowed. Finally, the last stroke of painting is completed. In the exile scroll, a red light suddenly lit up. Ha ha ha, it's done. Richard laughed wildly and reached out to grab it. However, the next moment, the situation suddenly changed, with lightning and thunder. In the sky, a golden light suddenly appeared, illuminating the wilderness with a golden color. What? Richard was stunned for a moment. He thought that the thunder and lightning before was caused by the celestial phenomenon caused by the altar. Only now did he realize that this was not the case. This golden light and red light are not the same number no matter how you look at them. Is it natural selection? An idea came to mind, and Richard was immediately confused. He has won 2 natural selection contests and knows about this additional feature. Could it be that Daxia man wanted to take away his scroll? No way. There was a buzz in Richard's mind and he quickly grabbed the scroll. With the scroll in his hand, he felt a little more at ease. However, the next moment, a big golden hand hung down from the sky, pushed away the dark clouds, and grabbed it downwards. No, Fark, no way. Richard roared loudly and held the picture tightly in his arms. But it was useless, the golden hand fell, and he felt a huge force in an instant. When the golden light flourished, and he was directly ejected several meters away and collapsed to the ground. In his mind, a system prompt rang. Ding, you hindered natural selection. The first punishment is 10 minutes of imprisonment. Closing square bracket. However, at this moment, Richard had no time to worry. He stared hard at the golden light. I saw that what was held between the 2 fingers of the golden hand was the exile scroll. No, you robber! Richard roared with grief and anger. He couldn't move his body and could only watch as the big hands took away the scroll. That's mine, you can't take it away. Liu Cheng, you beast. I'm going to kill you. Richard was furious and roared. However, the golden hand only slowly rose and retreated towards the clouds. Give it back to me, please. Richard's voice deepened and he began to sob. In the end, the golden hand did not respond to him. When the golden light disappeared, a system prompt sounded in his ears. Ding, the mission props are missing, your demon promotion mission failed. Closing square bracket, penalty for failure. Within a month, you cannot perform the demon promotion quest again. Closing square bracket, it's over, it's over. Richard felt his eyes go dark for a while. And at the same time, in the divine domain, the demon god opened his eyes. Why, failed to get promoted? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.